and totally calm.
Totally calm.
So, in last week's chapter of the Arcane Archives, the group being confronted by some sort of terror in their own reality as their world began to merge with a shadow world that was also resembling some sort of temple. This phenomenon, beginning from the rekindling of memories through the party, as well as Alar having some sort of connection to the Raven Queen, as his sword began to plume black smoke as the party members, their bodies began to emanate the same smoke as this terror started to happen. A long battle ensued with some shadowed figures that upon their death a green light would shoot into the sky, as well as a old comrade, Sven the Kind, adorned in his iconic orange cloak, which upon his death there was no green light. With many party members falling, and Ecclesius knocking most of them out, the battle was won. I hate all of you. The battle was won as the collective started to discuss what had happened, what may be happening, and what the presence of Sven might mean. As you all stand in the cold winter night with a large fire roaring, what would you all like to do?
We're gonna be... Aren't we heading out in like an hour?
It's
I think it
nighttime.
would be best.
Oh yeah, we were
But,
doing a short rest, right?
Yeah, we should not stay here any longer than we need to. Hey, Urden, you've been awfully quiet ever since the battle. Do you want this ring back? It's keeping... no? Or you don't? Or you never want it back? I can keep it forever. I can watch you chill to the bone while I stay warm. Agreed. You're so kind.
That's canon because it happened on stream.
I have 1 million gold.
Rubbing my paws together on like the bonfire that we have.
Yes, we should consider this a little short rest before we hit the road. I don't think we should stay here any longer than we should. But before we leave, Era, can I ask you a personal question, if you do not mind?
Yeah, I might not answer, but yes, you can.
That is, yes, I will leave you to your devices, but...
DM, quick question. But did we all hear the Goliath out of the smoke?
Just,
did we see like the smoke with the thing? Like, do we?
You
see
all saw the smoke, yes, but
okay. I was just wanting to make sure I'm gonna ask the right question.
The only conversation that was heard was between Ayla
and I think I did describe that I heard the Goliath. I believe.
Okay, just wanted to make sure that I wasn't accidentally mudding.
When the Ayla, your Raven's Edge sword, the smoke that came out of the hilt and the voice that you described, is this happened before, or is this your first time? You would tell us if this was a regular occurrence, right?
No, this is the first time. I described that nightmare I had, but I have never had the smoke billowing from the sword.
Cthulhu, I have a question to ask you regarding the sword. You, as well as I, can discern the school of magic with the sword. Can you potentially see if there is any tracking or locating spells on the sword? What if the Goliath knows where we are?
Yeah, I can definitely do that. And I'll shut my eyes and say a quick prayer as I open them, and I cast Detect Magic at level 1.
Alrighty. As you cast Detect Magic, similar result, you get the pings from everybody around you. But
I'm specifically focusing on that sword.
It's magical, necrotic still in nature.
Is School of Magic?
Necromancy.
Necromancy.
What
Well,
is my acorn?
I'm asking Cthulhu that, but I'm assuming the
And
DM's
then
gonna
I'll-
answer.
I was about to say, then I look at the acorn.
Chronergy.
Ooh.
Well.
The sword is necromancy. I don't really know much than that. I only know this spell because it was one of the first my masters taught me. I don't really know much about magic.
It is a
And-
good spell, though. I imagine that in Uthran, one of the chapters for the Esoteric Assembly, I guarantee you they can find anything hidden that we are not capable of yet. We don't want to be spied on by the weapon that protects us.
Would I know that deities are ever so powerful, in that they can give people the ability to see other people?
I mean, you can probably assume a guy can do whatever they want.
Well, gods can kind of twist reality, and they can basically do whatever they want. They don't abide by the same magical rules that we do. So if the Raven Queen is truly helping the Goliath, then there's no telling what she can do.
I don't think it is the Raven Queen helping the Goliath. I think we've seen Cade do it. We've seen me do it now, and we can only assume the Goliath can do the same. By a blood sacrifice, they're able to view another weapon. That's what it seems like.
I feel like that's in turn due to the Raven Queen, but
Yes, but the thing is that we're looking at people who also have the weapon.
Well, while we're on the subject of the Goliath, did we ever figure out why he was in the sunken city, was it?
The Lost City.
Lost City.
no, and not that I remember.
Kind of just never really thought about that too much.
Did you see anything about the Lost City when you looked into your weapon, Alar?
There were some memories from there, but nothing new. Nothing about that vault and the underparts. Nothing that would have been what we went there to look for in the first place.
What do any of you know what the Lost City's name was before the Lost City?
Solaria,
Was it Solaria? Oh, the
Yes.
demon's crying.
because
It was
it's
part of
the Lost.
Solaria.
'Cause
Fucking shit, it's part of the Lost.
It used to be Solaria, and then there was war, and then they moved across the bay.
And how is a kingdom like that able to rebuild so quickly?
This happened a century ago.
100 years for that big of a kingdom. It's still very fast.
It is still very impressive.
That's true. It's almost like this is a magical world.
Yeah, but you saw the city. It was destroyed. I don't feel like many people survived the onslaught. It's just it's curious to me, that's all.
Was the Lost
It's in
City
the war.
as large as New Solaria is what I'm gonna call it? Or is New Solaria smaller than the Lost City?
Just make an intelligence check.
Make a
Wisdom.
dexterity
Oh.
saving.
I was about to say, could it?
Mm-hmm.
I kind
have
of wondered
a-
the same thing.
I've got a question
Gonna
for you, DM.
Grab my tumbler, which we're waiting someone to get a camera, so that way I stop using it. Sorry, I had to mention that as incentive.
Every
He's
time.
gonna make it more and more like it's gonna eventually
Yeah.
be a metal fucking cup. Goosh!
Next thing you know, he's gonna get like a bowl just to do it.
13.
13.
Okay.
To your recollection, and more for the reason that you guys didn't explore the whole city, it's hard to tell. You know it's large. At very least, you would know that they are the same size, or roughly
So-
around.
So Nick knows this only because Nick's a fucking nerd. But I don't know if Alar would know this. Would Alar know that typically in times of war, it's very rare that you actually have a war where like 50% of the population dies. It's usually only like 5% is even a lot of the population that would die. No.
Is
Okay.
Nick thinking of that in terms of modern war? Because I would assume that ancient war would be pretty brutal, and doesn't matter if you have a weapon or not. You have a high possibility of dying.
The first war where more people died of. I'm not gonna get into this. It's actually like modern war is the first time where people started dying.
I would say Alar would know this, but you would also know that if your home was ransacked, that 5% becomes more 95% is the percentage that would probably die.
Okay.
Zio, you studied a lot about war. Do you remember how much was lost?
How much?
How many people, like...
How many people died in the war?
Yeah, civilians, all that. Because you said you've studied many wars and book smarts, and that's just not what I am.
I studied that war in particular. I haven't studied many wars, but I DM.
Yeah, give me a second.
I know that's.
He's already looking.
I was trying to stop.
I straight up was like, Nick, I'm gonna ask this like 20 seconds if you'll just give me a second.
So the numbers aren't exact, but you would know from your studies that anywhere from 100,000 to 350,000 people died.
In yield time, that's a lot, right?
Yes. Yes.
But
also remember, it's not like it was, territory versus territory. It was kingdom versus kingdom.
Yeah.
So, and at that time, Uthran was a lot larger too. So.
Is that Solarian estimations of death or total estimations of death?
Estimations of death would be made by the winners. So Solaria.
Well, like, is that how many people in Solaria died? Or is that
total? Between the war.
Okay.
Between the wars.
Gotcha.
But also remember that Uthran came all the way up to... Uthran's... You've mentioned it before, but just to reiterate to everybody. Uthran's border came all the way up to Freyas. And Solaria pushed them all the way back to pretty much where Summit's Peak is. And that's their territory now. So, borders got hella changed.
Well, to answer your question, Cthulhu, from my studies, it's estimated between 100,000 and 350,000 deaths total.
That is a very wide margin there.
I was about to say.
Could you imagine if you were amongst those 200,000 that may have been counted amongst the dead? What a
Either
horrible time to
way-
be alive.
Either way, that's a
Or
lot of
dead.
people, and that's what happened last time. So if you guys ever need a reason as to keep you going for what we're trying to prevent, that's a pretty big one.
Master, this is just playing the devil's advocate, but I overheard somebody a while ago talking about how some ends justify the means, and how far would you go to realize your destiny if it meant casting aside the lives of innocents? Perhaps, and again, this is not my thought, I'm just putting it out there. What if we were to kill 300,000 but save 1 million? I know this is in the weeds, we don't need to have a big discussion about this, I need to know that we are making the right decision. Because I feel that we are being pushed into a conflict bigger than ourselves.
I agree about that. It is.
Well, then
you
we all
asked-
need to grow bigger than the conflict.
I'm fully grown. Tabaxi don't get as big as our friend here.
And I'll kind of like, give you a pat on the elbow, Alar, if you're within reach. And if not, I'll just wave.
Not
I-
physically, Ecclesias.
Well, I think it'd be hard for a group of us 6 to stop a war. That'd be
Lord Nudal
there
did
would
it.
have to be. Lord Dunal did not do it alone, though. He had the backing of Solaria.
Well,
You have to
Of
remember
course.
Slayer also won that war, so they had the power.
What my point is that he was one of the main figures that helped broker peace. It's possible.
But if the rich want this, I mean, you
We
can see it in
convince-
Zeo. The rich get what the rich want.
We convince the rich that it is not profitable. Maybe if more people are alive, then you have more people to sell to.
Now, are they doing this for profit, or are they doing this for...
What else do the rich do it for? I am not rich.
pride?
Keep in
I mean-
mind that it is the Bureau's main goal at the moment to cause this war, not just those in Uthran who are nobles and are rich. If
Well,
anything,
yes.
the rich are the puppets in this scheme.
Then
Yeah,
what
but-
other... Sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm just thinking.
What do the Bureau... What is the Bureau promising the rich? I mean... There's
don't-
so much...
They don't really need to promise the rich anything.
Then why
rich
would they do
will-
it?
You tell these nobles that they could expand their lands, they could expand their profits. You know, they can make something out of this war. They don't need too much more convincing than that. They don't need promises. Things, according to those, who have told me, aren't... The nobles aren't, behaving in Uthran, so...
What I'm worried about it is that if everyone is divided on conquering more on Falbian, who slips through the cracks?
I can't help but be bad. I'd be like, what is around?
It's late at nights, the wolves are definitely hunting.
That's just true. But the reason why I ask this is because there would be tactics that I wasn't proud of in the assembly, but we would create confusion amongst people to have them find an item that might be heavily guarded. So if Solaria and Uthran are at each other's throats, who slips in the cracks to really gain the power behind the curtains?
I think that's what the Bureau wants.
But the bear, I have a hair. But the bureau is in front of the curtains now, unless we are behind the curtains, which
Well,
I think
I-
we need a short rest.
I think
Well, I think we are.
Yes.
I mean, if Celeria and Uthran both knew that this is all the Bureau wanted for their own profit, why would they fight? If the rich and the nobles knew that they're just doing this for their own good, and the possibility of land is enough, I mean, I think that says more for their own intelligence than it really does anything else.
Could be. I imagine that once we find this teleportation circle and meet up with Kane, then traveling to Uthran with Zio as our guide, we will find a lot more information that will help us.
When we get there, we need to be on our toes, though. We can't really... I feel like
Right.
we're going to be in a very big crowd that may know what has happened back in Thrace. They may not be too happy.
What we might be able to do, too, is learn about how peace was brokered the first time. And try and do that before shit starts.
We could have... Ecclesias, couldn't you speak to Chester about that? How peace was initially brokered and what were the deals and conditions with all of that?
Yes, I could find something like that. I could potentially try now, but it will fatigue me. But
Well, would
I
Zio
also
know?
might know something about this.
It is also
Yeah,
late
he
at
actually
night. It is also late at night, and Jester is probably sleeping.
I hate to say
Is it
it, but
night?
this is a little I hate to say it, but this is a little bit more important than sleep. If we're heading into Celeria and or not Celeria, sorry, Uthran.
I think we're not going to be in Uthran for a few days. We could probably wait 8 hours to talk to Chester.
It's gonna be a little bit
That's-
more than a few days.
I was about
Yeah.
to say it's going to be more than a few days, but wouldn't you rather have the information now than waiting until the last second and procrastinating on your...
You don't have to wait till the last second, but we do have plenty of time to worry about this.
Why don't we at least make it through the night, and at dawn I will send Chester a message. So at least we respect his sleep. Although I do agree that this is important.
Did you guys think Zio might know, and you might not even have to bother Chester at all?
For now, I'll tell you what I know.
And what
Yeah.
you
Now I'll
know
tell you.
is, you know that the peace brokered was. You don't know exactly how was being maintained now, but you do know about the treaties that were signed back when the war ended. You would know that the first doctrine was a maintaining of borders. That Uthran was to not overbear and overstep their borderline, which you know that they have not done, up until events that are happening now. You'd also know that common imports and exports for Celeria without or with low tariffs, as well as free reign for Celeria at natural resources if needed for the ones that they had already explored before the treaty was signed.
And do I know if this treaty has expired or had a set expiration date?
No, it does not have a set expiration date, only to be broken if the doctrine was followed. You would know that Celeria was also to maintain their borderline, to not overstep, as well as to maintain constant tariffs increases, stagnating over the years.
Okay, so to my understanding, the treaty should still be in effect,
Correct.
unless current events say otherwise. So I'll relay that information to everybody in the party.
Okay.
So at this point, what are the... I mean, you said that the tariffs were going up constantly. At this point, it's been 100 years. I mean, you're a man that's... your family sold wine to millions of people. I know that's an overestimation, but sold a lot of wine everywhere. Do you know what the tariffs are now? 'Cause that could be enough for the rich to not like it anymore.
I don't think that's going to be a factor large enough to push into war, especially since we knew what those tariffs were going to be beforehand, before signing the treaty.
They are also they stagnated too, so they were
so they're
increasing for a period of time and then flattened out.
Is this really cause to murder a diplomat, though? I understand that you could take out a shipment of competitors' wine or something like that, but really resorting to assassination?
Money makes people do crazy things, but...
I don't
is
think
true.
that this is the primary cause.
I would say that I think the primary cause that war would start now is because it seems like the Bureau, as Cinder told us, wants to start war.
Correct me if I'm wrong at any point, but I'm going off.
Oh, that is,
But,
that's what he said.
yeah. But, in order to stop war, hopefully we can initiate a new treaty or something that would allow for the powers to be to maybe prevent the Bureau from starting war and prevent them from being manipulated by the Bureau just into starting a war.
But do we have that power? We're not diplomats of Celeria.
Well, one of our friends here, I happen to know, has talked directly with the king himself, so it's not out of the possibility.
Didn't, correct me if I'm wrong, Zio, didn't you say it was almost like a power move with you? He was like, trying to get to know more. He was trying to figure out how Uthran worked.
Yes, but at the same time, it wasn't nefarious. There was no... I could tell that he wasn't trying to play me in any sense of the way. He might have been trying to get more information out of me than I was willing to divulge, but it didn't seem... It seemed like he wanted information without me realizing that I was giving information. And realizing that he wanted more information. I think that he knew that this war was coming, but he didn't want me to know that this war was coming.
There
If
is also...
anything-
Oh, sorry, Theo.
You're fine, sorry. If anything, it was more of... I don't think that he wanted us involved.
And that's exactly what we're doing.
I can always ask my Master Velos if he... Well, my Master Vale, I can go straight to the top and I can ask. And I'm sure there'll be information to be given to me. And as in proximity, you as well. But he must know something. The dealings of items, and we have holds in most of the major kingdoms. He must know something. I can commune with him.
That's a great idea.
Well, if we are to stay here for the night, I do suggest we move forward through the night.
I
But,
agree.
I
We can talk
commune
and
with him.
walk.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, let me put out this fire and make sure I cover up any footprints we might be leaving right here.
I think we should leave the fire on
Done.
Oh, it's off.
because we've already been visited. So if anyone knows where we are, they already know that we're here. And if the fire's still on, they'll probably think that we're still here.
But isn't it a little bit irresponsible? What if it catches other things on fire?
The snow will probably stop it.
Oh, right. Forgot we're in knee deep of
Very
snow.
cold.
Can I? You know what? Can I do a survival check to make sure that it wouldn't burn shit down?
Sure.
Wow, that boomerang
Valar's
shaped
abilities.
log is roaring.
Also, DM, is it warm enough for me not to need my warm clothes with my boots?
If you're standing next to the 15-foot tall fire, yes.
But if I wasn't, it would. There's specific temperature ranges on the boots.
Yes, there are nights that get cold enough where you need those.
that I would. Okay. But like during the
15.
day, I could probably take that off.
Take your warm clothes off, maybe.
Okay.
Remember, you're also heading farther north as it's getting colder, so
Yeah.
We're so smart.
It is frostfall after all. Or,
It's ice over.
thank you.
Ice
I was
over.
like, did I mess
sorry,
up?
Bethesda, don't sue us, please. Don't sue us at Bethesda. I am Tabaxi, I am not Khajiit.
What's your survival?
15.
Take a
15. Well, looking around as you notice, it is a very large fire that has, for the most part, melted Zio's igloo.
Aww.
But you can ascertain if you left it, it would probably fizzle out and not catch anything else on fire, barring any strong winds.
The fire will be fine.
All right, well, why don't we walk and talk? It is this way, right?
I'll point to the direction of north.
It
Because
is
we were
this
fighting
way.
a lot, so.
I would know exactly, one, because I'm from the north, and two, because I'm guessing I would know from the stars. Is there a
I'm from the
northern
south,
star?
So I really know where the south is.
Is there a northern star?
There's a southern star.
So go the
Boom.
opposite.
Roasted.
Not that other way.
I use sacred.
You know what? In all reality, there's a west. There's a eastern star. We'll
Alright,
switch
well,
it up. There's an eastern
I go.
star.
I
There's one
go. I use that.
There's
too.
only one star in the sky.
It's the sun.
I watched that one star to see when my birthday was.
About there.
There.
Ecclesias, I have a question.
Yes.
When was the assembly created?
Oh, it's been A pretty long time.
Sorry.
From when I first established and performed my rights as a member, it would have to be anywhere from 4 years old to centuries old.
Give me a second.
I don't mean to
100,000 to 300,000.
put doubts into your head, but if the assembly has footholds in every single major city and presumably communicates with every single major government, they probably have some sort of influence on war, on preventing it or starting it.
Well, from my understanding, we had. Now that I'm thinking of it, I remember how old it is.
386 years old.
He's 386 years old. That's the last Master Vale had told me. So 386 years old for the Esoteric Assembly.
I'll just keep this.
But
That's his.
you are right that we have influence over war. But there has not been a major war in some time. But we are a procure and distribution system for magical items. But we swear to be neutral and not be bought out by the highest bidder. We do have honor amongst our assembly.
There hasn't been a major war in a century, but your organization is centuries old.
I have a
is true.
question.
Go ahead, June.
You claim to say that your assembly has remained neutral in the past, as far as wars go between
From what I've been told.
kingdoms. How do you know that they're remaining neutral now, especially with the information that we got from Cinder and their dealings with the Bureau when the Bureau's main objective is to cause a war?
Well, Ecclesias kind of looks around for a second, kind of wrinkles his nose.
Do you all trust me?
Of course. My life.
You're one of the few of us that has preached peace, and that goes a long way for me.
I represent my assembly. I suppose would be an ambassador of peace amongst my people and my guild. I stand for neutrality where it is deemed the best option. So I suppose by the logic of neutrality, if there were people that would be accosted by the end of an evil regime, we would feel obliged to help those in need. Thus, would vanquish our neutrality. So, I think it's a complicated question, and all of these things I can bring up to my Master Vale when the time comes.
Well, I have another complicated question for you, Ecclesias. And this may be prying too deep into you and your personal feelings, but
I'm an open tome, my friend.
well, we'll see.
Hold my beer.
How
We'll see.
What gets you going, Ecclesias?
Is it pause?
do you trust the assembly more than you trust us, or do you trust us more than the assembly?
This is a difficult question. I'll give you that. I trust both of you with my life. I owe more, I would say, to the assembly, but neither has given me a reason to doubt how I am treated. I've always been treated fair amongst you, and I have been taken care of by the assembly. I suppose I have not had any whispers of treachery amongst us. So, if we were doing a tally on things that sparked the seed of doubt, I suppose I would trust.
And you kind of see like Ecclesias almost like hesitant to say it out loud, but
I suppose I would trust you more than the assembly.
Well, I didn't mean to push you to any rash conclusions, and this is obviously something that's very close to your heart. And if you need more time to think, that's fine, but I'm happy with that answer.
I will always be truthful because truth. Damn this cold air! It's so dry. I need sugar water. Through truth lies peace. And I'm a procurer of items. I am a lowly scientist, if anything. So you will always have my honesty.
Well, you're not only a procurer of items, you are also a member of the collective.
Collective I am proud to be a part of.
I just realized you probably shouldn't tell the assembly that you're a member of the collective, because they might take that the wrong way. So
Oh, no, we are not forbidden to make other bonds. Only those that would conflict with the interests of the assembly or work directly against it. But we are encouraged to form bonds. Bonds make us stronger.
At
Fair
this
enough.
point, Ecclesias, do you feel like our ventures conflict with the assembly?
Thus far, no, because
And I'll show my ring of shooting stars.
I think that I've actually made an oopsie daisy by putting this ring on. It's usually not the custom, as I do think this might have been a ring that Master Velos was looking for, but it will go back to him in time. And so far, our paths have been mutually beneficial. Not to say that if we had to stray from the path of my assembly, I would abandon you there.
Well, I'm kind of curious now that you brought up the ring. Because the ring was gifted to the collective, no?
Mm-hmm.
Or Mayor Fairstone gifted to me.
Was it to you personally? Sorry if that's
I thought so, unless I'm
I think it was
misremembering that.
gifted to everyone,
Mm-hmm.
and then we decided it was yours.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, now that you mention it, it was gifted to everyone.
Ecclesias thinks, and then he calls to the DM. When I left and Master Velos had mentioned about a ring in Freyas, would it be... I mean, Ecclesias is assuming this is the ring, because I'm also... this is my first, time I've been named as a contractable, or a name to be contracted.
So, for transparency, I don't recall him saying that there was a ring in Freyas to find.
I thought
I thought he said so as well.
I thought he said that there was an item, or
I don't remember that.
I could be misremembering that.
I will be frank, I do not truly remember, so I'll have to go back to our last meeting and watch that.
Your name's not Frank.
But
Actually, come to think of it, this ring
Galar
might-
gets pecked by a crow, you lose 3 health.
I hope
Forest
you're
looks
Nope.
like he was pecked by
Mark it, you lose 3 health.
Oh, please tell me you didn't take his short rest HP and he actually
No one
gets
did.
unconscious.
No one did.
I
Did knock you
did.
out? Did
I
I-
already rolled my 2 HP
I was
die.
gonna say, I use
already did
Sacred
it,
Oath,
like,
and
last
I go up
session.
to full HP.
But this ring, it
rolled-
might not be the one from that they were looking for. But so long story short, I trust you all marginally more than the assembly that pulled me from the streets. And yeah, so this is I will see this through. And there are people that I have not met from my assembly in Uthran, and I'm very excited to meet them. Man, this snow's deep. Shuck it.
Well, shall we take a quick nap here and continue on our way?
As I close my eyes and kind of just focus in, you see every tattoo emanate into this goldy hue, and then most of the scars I have are now healed over, and I look like more myself than I did at 14 hit points. As I say, may the light, may we be bountiful for Fortis, and the light bring us home.
Quick
And
question.
just-
Sorry.
Yes.
Go ahead.
When you roll your hit dice, do you add your con modifier to each dice or total?
I don't
I thought it was just the straight dice roll for it.
Yeah, I think it's just dice roll plus your con mod. All of
Oh,
your dice plus
D&D
con.
D&D Beyond said in the short
It's
rest, it said like, for like a wizard, 1d6 plus 2. So I'm like, okay, well if I roll 4,
I
of
think
my
it's
5.
plus con each dice.
Sure. I really don't care. Either way. If that gives you
Which
more.
one?
Benefiting
How
the-
much
You
do I
only
get
need to
back?
roll 3 dice and you have max health.
Okay, well I rolled 4, and I will mark 4 off of my hit dice.
Sounds good.
I go over to where I killed Sven, or at least where his illusion was, and I
Oh,
kind
are we not walking it? Sorry,
I thought we've
we
already
were-
walked.
So you
Yeah.
guys
Oh,
have
yeah.
been walking.
Okay, I thought we were taking a short rest and then walking.
Yeah, I believe
Yeah,
you guys have. Well, you guys had been short resting and then walking. So
Okay.
Yeah, we're just kind of hanging by the bonfire. And technically, if we're just like
Time got a little
walking slow,
funky.
it
It's
can
okay.
still.
Never mind.
Constitution.
Then I don't do it.
So, what is all of y'all's plan as you're going? How far do you want to get away? Are you setting up
Us-
camp again?
Keep making our way as far as we can through the daytime, trying to find like.
It's still
foods and stuff
nighttime.
like
you guys
that.
just rested. It's like midnight. You
I
guys
meant
took
like
a short rest.
we'd travel like through the rest of the night, and then at daybreak, I would try to contact Chester. But I
Alright,
want to give
let me-
Alar a big pat on the back and saying,
I hope that you enjoyed your birthday, even though the end of the night got a little out of hand.
It's, it was still nice to celebrate. I will try to remember the first parts of the night.
I don't even remember when I was born.
I don't remember when I was born either. I just know how many years it's been.
Don't know that.
My plan as far as walking goes was to keep walking until the next night, so not long rest up and until it becomes night again.
I'm
But I
fine
don't
with
know if that's what everyone else wanted.
I get onto Cammy and I just kind of stroll along.
that.
Is our horse and wagon still?
I was about to say, is our horse like still going? Is he a trooper or?
Yeah.
I forgot we had a horse and wagon.
I'll say you guys
Yeah, I
can
did
travel
too.
for about 4 hours, then you need to take a long rest.
We need.
Or unless you want to
Okay.
suffer a point of exhaustion.
for the
Hey,
long
Short
rest.
rest
Alar-
does not help us.
Alar is willing to take that point on exhaustion.
I was gonna say, because it says, some special abilities, environmental hazards such as starvation, long-term effects of freezing, or scorching temperatures can lead to special conditions called exhaustion. On top of that, with you guys only having an hour of rest after a battle, I would say you guys can. I'm not saying you guys. Sorry, I should reword that.
Yes.
You guys can continue, but you will suffer a point of exhaustion if you don't take a long rest in the night.
How about we get? This might sound stupid. How about we get about an hour out, and then we camp down in maybe a safer location.
I do not want to sleep tonight.
I'm fine to keep pushing if everybody else is.
I'll be okay to keep pushing, and then at daybreak I'll try to get a hold of Chester.
Maybe at daybreak we take another little rest and then keep going.
Sure.
That sounds like a plan. June, what do you think?
I think I can make it.
Does anybody feel awful?
I don't feel
Not feeling
great.
the best.
Yeah, and I hop off Cammy. You can ride her if you like.
Me?
June after you.
Yeah, June,
Yeah, I
if you'd like.
immediately just before Cthulhu even finishes
Like the
ah.
last whip up
yeah.
there.
Apply the laws of physics and get out.
And in
Yeah, yeah,
Orcish, you take it easy on her. Don't do anything stupid. As I get rub the nose up to her head, and then go ahead.
Question for you, DM. With my boots, would I still suffer a point of exhaustion?
No.
How magic are these boots?
I was gonna say, how much are you gonna keep beating around the bush?
Yeah.
We got him some nice
No.
boots.
Got
No,
some
you
You know
would
what?
not.
Fuck it.
boots.
I'm going on D&D Beyond.
No, you're not.
Don't break it.
I know. I want to.
But no, you would not suffer a point of exhaustion. If you
Jesus.
go a whole nother day, yes, because tired
Yeah,
is
that's
tired.
Perfectly fair. I just noticed when you were explaining exhaustion, it specifically mentioned like the cold weather and stuff. So
Yeah, no. If you guys were in like a normal temperature, I'd be like, yeah, you guys can short rest, travel, and then long rest later. But because it's cold on top of the lack of sleep and the battle, that's why I was like, yeah, you guys are gonna suffer point exhaustion.
well,
I think
while we're
we got enough
traveling, I want to say thank you to everyone for getting me these boots. They are amazing. I like them a lot. They don't, not really my style, but they definitely do the job. I appreciate it.
If they're not your style, I'll take them.
No,
That's what I thought.
What exactly do your boots do for you?
they keep me quite warm, very warm, in fact. In fact, if you need a second coat, June, you can take mine.
You have two
But-
coats? Yeah, it's the Rockies.
I think that anything that were to hit me, that would make me freeze as I was hit. I would not feel it near as much. With the spikes on the bottom, it allows me to walk over some slippery surfaces and some stuff that would be harder to get over without any impedance. And then, yeah, they make me very warm. I don't think, unless it drops like another 70 degrees Fahrenheit, I don't think I'll need a coat. And then, well, I think even then, I just need a coat.
Hey, Adazio.
What's up, Ecclesias?
Don't you?
Please talk more about your clothes.
Well,
In
If you
his
wanna
defense,
know
I
more.
asked.
No /s. Please go.
I just wanted to say thank you guys. They're very nice boots, and I appreciate the gift.
Also, if there's ever any time where we are particularly too cold, I do have my fancy flute.
No way of saying that tough.
I have my
No.
fancy flute.
No,
the
there's
the flute that we tried to get the horse to play. I remember that.
Well, why don't we just keep our eyes to the line, because I'm sure Elar and Zio will agree that wilderness is no place to be lollygagging. Or maybe it is.
I was about to say we just killed ghost people. I think we're fine against the wolves.
Sure, but that's true.
Well-
I just don't feel like it right now.
Yeah, it's
As-
still not very comfortable.
As long as Zio doesn't stab one of them again, I can talk to them and calm them down. But, anyways,
It jumped at me.
yeah, you killed.
I
we
tr-
killed
I
the
tried to
wolves.
feed it. I tried to feed it, and it jumped
you
at me.
tried to
What?
feed it your blade. Shush. It's
I had
okay.
a ration
You
in
made a
my
mistake.
hand
You made
and
a
a blade in the
mistake.
other.
You made a
Well,
mistake. It's okay.
It's also the same night that Zio stabbed me, so I don't know if it was personal
That wasn't me.
or.
Oh, I wasn't high-fiving. I was going to ask you a question,
yes,
but
Jeremy.
Oh, I thought you were high fiving.
I'm sorry. We'll work on that. We'll work on that at intermission. DM, I want to look for that same symbol, the square at the top, as we head
Ooh.
north.
I was like,
Hey, pull out your other binder. Remember more stuff from a while
Yeah.
ago.
Get all your binders out.
okay, make a
Just in general along the way.
perception.
Perception, I will gladly do this. Can we go with my passive perception?
That is only a 7.
As you try to take note of it as you're passing through the woods, unfortunately, you do not have the ability to find it at this time. You all would notice as you're traveling. You would also notice that your horse is looking very ill.
No.
One
Don't.
thing that the DM never thought of, but you would
That
have
they have
probably
to eat.
run out by now, is that they just can't eat random squirrels. You need to have food. So probably should have
Here, eat
picked some of
this.
that up. You didn't.
So-
I didn't mention it, so I'll say that he gave you some. But we'll say that this horse.
I think
is
you
pretty
said that
well
he did
managed.
give us some when we bought that horse. Did he not set us up with a pack of horse food?
He did, but that's why I'm saying by now
It's
he
run
would,
out.
It would have been run out.
Question.
Yes, Nick.
So, I've written
No,
in my
first time.
backstory about furbolgs herding yaks. Would I be able to find food that you would feed yaks? Like you would herd yaks, they would have to eat something. Would I be able to help the horse find what the yaks would normally be able to find?
Possibly. What is more important? Keeping the horse alive or being timely in your travels? Because you can for sure go off of your path and try to find food. But you would know that if you guys continue, you're not just going to stumble. Oh, look at this horse.
Herding is more slow than
grass.
Right, but
travel.
what I'm saying is you would know that it would be very hard for you to just stumble upon it going in your direction. To
Right.
just be like, oh, I could use this for horse feed.
No, I get you. And I whisper this.
I don't want the horse to hear me, even though he doesn't understand me. I want to be nice. He does not look well. Should we can try and find some food like we would find for the yaks, or we can, horses are edible.
Well, well, before we get to EAATING, the HORSE, I'm gonna go to the horse and just.
And
And
then,
you
and
just
then
start
I,
hearing
I want to go up to the horse and I'm gonna pet the mane and kind of like put my snout to its snout and just. Do we establish if it's a male or female? Just my
As
RP's
your-
on point.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That's a
like,
huge
boy.
boy.
So I'm gonna stroke its mane, stroke its mane, put my snout to his snout and say, "That's a good boy," just like a mantra, almost like say it, and then
Wait.
like go on.
Sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
All right, continue, Ecclesias.
I'm just gonna cast Cure Wounds on it. And try that. I'm gonna. But as I do my thing and I do my bit without interruption, I do. Just teasing you.
Sorry.
But I will cast Cure Wounds at level 1 as yeah, just a little like a fine little white silhouette, like the halo around the hockey puck for those that were born before high definition cameras.
Okay.
So
As you say, good boy.
That's a good boy.
and it's going to get 9 hit points back, and that translates into how many horse points?
As you cure it of some of its ailment, you notice some of the life
Make it feel
return to its
comfortable.
eyes, but at this point, anything you're doing other than feeding it the food it needs is hospice.
Does it look? Does it? Does it look like
Horse
it's cold
hospice.
and it looks like it's pretty?
It looks cold. It's starting to. I mean, it's not like you can see ribs because it's probably just been hungry for a couple or 4 or 5 days. But yeah, it's looking not happy.
Does it look like it's poison or is has like a disease or anything, or
It
is it
looks
just
like it's
starving?
hungry.
Alrighty. No,
Its
There's one or
belly,
two
a
thi-
face comes out of its belly. It says, "Feed me."
There is one of two things that we can do with old boy, and that is take a break from our travels north and find and procure some food, or we give him the long sleep.
I imagine we're stopped at this point. Do we kind of stop at this note?
I would hope that you guys aren't like, should we kill it?
Come on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
get as far as you
it's
can.
cold. We're all hungry. Come on.
It's like when you know that your horse might be dying in Skyrim, so you just go as fast as you can before it dies, and then you're like,
Just-
all right,
yeah.
at least I got away.
At least I got 50 more feet.
Yeah. No, I would assume you're all stopped at this point.
I have rations. Do you know, Aylar, if that would be a help? Wherever these rations are made from. Are these rations horse feed?
DM, are those rations horse feed?
It says a mixture of nuts and berries. Last time I checked.
Probably depends upon.
Got a lot of research. This one.
Technically, on the Oregon Trail, they actually brought like what they called it bacon, but it was really like salted pork.
Grass. So
unless
you
it's,
can
like, a
feed.
thing.
By the way, they need 20 pounds of food a day.
Who doesn't?
And I'm looking up in 19th century how they traveled across the plains, and you can feed them hay, grass, or pelleted feed. So all of which you guys are out of. I did
Can
not
we feed
realize
them
it needs
snow?
20.
Yeah. They used stages back then, so like you wouldn't take the same horse. You
Right.
would go to a stage and then trade horses because they didn't. They don't do what we're doing.
Right.
I don't mean this in a bad way. I think it's time for the horsey to take a nap.
June walks up to the horse.
Snaps its
But
neck.
before you say what you're gonna do,
RKOs it.
Alar, you would notice that this horse is not old, but you would know that it's not like it's a young horse. So, yes, June.
I walk up to the horse and I sorry. This is like so against like Jess as a person. So this is really hard.
Crush.
I was about to say the claw comes out of the ground.
Yeah. What do you do?
I'm gonna kind of like bring its head into like I kind of like stroke its head, and then I'm just gonna and then I'm gonna shoot like a ray of frost like through through one ear and out the other.
You
like,
better
through
hope
its
you
brain.
roll high on damage. After I just healed it for 9.
Well, why did you?
Roll damage.
Why did you heal it? I was gonna kill her.
Alright.
God damn it! This ruins my plans.
We're gonna freeze them.
All I want
Guys
to
are
say,
talking about it too much.
all I want to say is you want to roll at least double digits. Just
Ray of Frost is what, a D8 plus what do you got?
It's
I think it's 2d8 now.
Oh yeah, we're not level 1.
yeah.
I
Oh,
was,
now I'm nervous.
Oh my god. You're gonna shoot it in the face.
You're gonna be like Theon taking his first head. It takes him like 5 swings.
Can she get a crit hit because of she's
Yeah.
close to it?
what
Which is
damage
actually
did you roll?
disadvantage because it's a range attack
11.
in melee range.
11. Alright, we'll say it works. It has 13,
Okay.
but we're gonna make it work.
I would say I would immediately do another one if I knew that it didn't work.
So, as you walk up to this horse that no one named, and you put your hand over its ears,
Anthony, don't make this worse. You're making this so much worse.
Guys, no one needs names.
as
We
you
named the
stupid.
dog, but fuck the horse.
as you put your hand up to its
The
ears,
dog.
as
Don't-
June,
don't look,
you
dude,
are the
don't
only
look.
one close enough to hear the as the crystallized ice moves through its head as
Give it a kiss on the snoot as it happens.
as its body goes limp and falls.
Fuck. They
Did
kissed
you
his
not?
death.
We'll just say you detached it from the cart before, like, kabook, as it
Yes,
falls.
gracious DM.
Fucking-
We will say that I detached it from the.
Everyone just boo. Like that
As-
boat video. All of us just fucking.
As you give it a kiss goodbye, as the horse falls limp on the side.
And then I will kind of dust my frosty hands off, and I'll turn to everybody and say,
What? I'm sorry.
"The horse."
Keep going. No, keep going.
And I'll say, "This poor animal was suffering. I've seen it a lot, just from owning an inn and horses in the village. We might as well make use of this loyal animal." And then I will like walk away, and like
This is offensive.
and June's like hands are like shaking, and
I'll walk up to
I
June
just
if
go
I can
and
see that.
sit.
Sure.
I don't want anyone to see it, so can I roll for something?
Sure.
Let me just shove these in my pockets and now my jacket's shaking. My passive perception's 14.
I'm trying to play it
Roll
off that
stealth.
that was no big deal for
Roll
me.
stealth.
Um.
Roll performance.
I was gonna say whatever you
Should I
want me to
counter
roll. It's
roll
probably
it?
not gonna work, but this
Nah,
is
it'd be your passive perception.
this is what June is
So-
trying to do.
No, don't. Okay.
Aylar has a thought.
Hold on, let's.
Okay.
one
Performance
track. Yes.
14.
What's your passive perception?
14.
You notice her hands are shaking like a
Fucking
damn
hell.
fish out of water.
message I cast. As I'm walking towards you, June, in your mind.
That must have been a difficult thing to do, but I understand why you did it.
And if I can get close to you, if you don't like run away, I just put my hand on your shoulder, and I'm going to cast at first level, heroism. And as my paw goes on your shoulder, you feel a nice warmth and almost like a chill up your neck. You are imbued with bravery. You can't be frightened, and you gain 2 temporary hit points.
I'll stop and kind of put my hand on Ecclesias's paw that he put on my shoulder, and in his mind, I will say, "Thank you." And then
I'll leave you to your own space.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of
So,
walk off and take a moment.
Alar, since we're killing horses, can you be next?
Wow, this is so not the time.
Oh.
I ignore Cthulhu, and
So I
I
guess
go up
what-
to the horse, and I draw blood from it with my sword, and then I try and contact Cade.
Can you contact people with horse blood? Let's see.
Where do you cut it?
I mean, if it doesn't bleed, then I would probably then just end up going for like the jugular where I know it would bleed.
I mean, wherever you cut it, it has blood. Where do you cut it?
Okay. I'll just cut it. I feel like the throat, there's a big vein there, so I'll do there.
Yeah, the big
one big
life vein.
Yeah.
It's one big thing.
As you do so, and you try to, how do you try to contact Cade?
I do exactly what I did before when I tried to contact the Goliath, except I'm trying for
Oh.
Cade.
Make a wisdom saving throw.
Are we gonna have to speak in horse? Like, nay, Cade.
$5
nay.
for an hour. Oh, horse.
Wisdom saving throw. You know, this would have been better if it was a 1, because then I could make myself reroll. Fuck my life. Wisdom saving throw.
We're gonna be here
3.
for another hour.
You take 5 points of necrotic damage.
Of
And as
course I
you
do.
try to extend your mind out to reach towards Cade, nothing. Your mind doesn't even leave the space it's in.
Do we see like recoil? Do we see the effect of this damage at all?
I'd say you see
Anim-
him twitch a little bit, but that's about it.
Animal blood does not work. And for reference, I was trying to contact Cade. I figure that is a far safer person to attempt this with than the Goliath.
I don't understand. Why do you need the blood of a horse?
It requires a blood sacrifice.
Oh,
So I was hoping that instead of drawing the blood from a human, maybe if there's a cow farm or something, I don't know, we can get blood there, but it doesn't seem to work.
well, I suppose that I am no butcher, so are we leaving this horse we failed to name to rot in the north alone? And who's pulling the cart now?
Question: Can I?
I'll
Would I know how to butcher a horse? You know, being in like a tribe that probably ate horse quite often.
I would say you can try, but you have never butchered a horse. That would probably not be common. Your family, your dad would probably go and, purchase the food you guys ate. But you can try. You can certainly try.
Cthulhu, I think I will try to help you. I don't know how to butcher horses, but I have seen my brother butcher yaks before.
The fucking word.
That's
God,
in
hate-
my
I hate-
backstory.
No, I hate that animal. I hate that word.
Okay.
I went
I
like
figured
6
that's what we
years
grew
without
up in the
hearing
north.
word
We can
yak,
change it.
And now here it is.
No, it's fine. It's here.
16
Oh.
times. I will attempt to butcher the yak. Or
I'll
not
attempt
yak,
to help him.
horse.
The yak.
Okay, you
I
both can
wanted-
roll.
I wanted to know if I could do something during this period of killing
Sure.
our safe friend.
Killing
I'll
him.
wait till this is done.
Is there
Just
any?
look at the
what,
flowers.
is it just
Fuck,
is it
survival
like
check.
dexterity?
Survival
Oh,
check.
survival. Sorry.
That dice is fucking out of here. That's a 7. And I rolled a 3. So I went up. I rolled higher than last
There you
time.
Oh
And
shit!
you use
11.
your hands like a normal
11?
person. That would work.
You,
Real talk.
I literally
Wow.
haven't used this die before, so.
Real talk.
Zio, will describe what you're doing once this
Yeah.
botched circumcision. is
Butchering.
done.
We butchered the
So
butcher.
you managed to get for the group about 2 days worth of palatable rations as you guys use the forward half of the horse to screw up. As you're like, we should not do all of that.
The forward half.
And then the back half you guys can eat.
Cthulhu, don't cut that. That is the stomach. We don't want that open. Don't. That is
Well-
not meat.
It's so squishy.
Although,
Just-
we could try to make haggis. Normally
Macaroni
it's with
nugget.
the sheep, but
Jay, what did Zio want to do?
So before this horse was met its end, let's say, I would have sat down just in the snow off to the side. I would have snapped my fingers and summoned Duo, and I would close my eyes and place my hands in my lap in like a meditation state, and I would tell Duo telepathically to go about 500 feet up the trail as I'm looking through his eyes. And I would also tell him then and there that if he doesn't see anything, stay about 100 feet in front of us and tell me if he sees anything. And if he does see something, come back and tell me.
What if he doesn't see anything?
Then stay 100 feet in front of us and let me know if you see anything.
All right. So the whole period of all of you butchering this horse, butchering is a humane word. I didn't say massacring.
It makes me sad.
All right, fine. As you guys go through the process of fillet-a-fishing the horse,
That doesn't help. It's not helping. It's going the other way. Wrong way.
fine. As you guys go through maiming the horse for food, you notice at the end when you're all ready to leave, for the past 30 minutes, Zio has been looking into the abyss with golden glow eyes.
Oh, is this what he does when he sees through the fox's eyes?
Mm-hmm.
I will keep. I'll make sure that he doesn't accidentally like walk forward into a giant booby trap or something. Just keep an eye on. I'll just keep an eye on
So
Zio.
as you kind of take his shoulder, or you just kind of hold his hand and you just keep walking with him, as
Question.
Duo keeps staying 100 feet ahead, has not seen anything yet.
Could my warhorse pull the cart?
No, we have discussed this.
Oh yeah, we have. That's right. Never mind.
If he is staying 100 feet ahead, I will open my eyes and not be looking through his eyes anymore.
Okay,
And
and you
still-
feel the warmth of Ecclesias's claws.
My paws.
Oh, your hand's kind of cold.
My hands are. I. No. So.
What a little bit of Sven right there.
he doesn't
So
have
you just
hands.
keep
He have
me warm?
paws.
No.
Sorry. It is cold up here, but is that a trick that you do, Zio, to see through Wo's eyes?
I don't know if it's a trick or what it is exactly, but yeah, I can see through Duo's eyes when I focus.
That is that's really incredible. Can you is it only through Duo, or can you also do it through Cthulhu? I'm sorry, I can't remember your companion's name.
Oh, that's Kami.
Kami. Can you do it through Kami, or is it just because you and Duo share that bond?
I can try.
Oh, do try. I'm
Okay.
excited.
First, I'm
I-
gonna try Cammy, and then I'm going to try to look through your eyes. And I will close my eyes and focus the same way that I try to focus when I look through Duo's eyes to first attempt to see through Kemi's eyes.
And you fail to do so.
And then I will not say anything or do anything. I will just try to look through Ecclesias's eyes this time.
I'm just looking at you sternly, like waiting to see if it works.
And you fail to do so.
I'll open my eyes.
There's
Yeah,
a no.
No,
Well, I
just
can.
Duo.
That is good though. What is Duo, anyways?
He's 100 feet ahead of us. He's gonna let me know if he sees anything.
Ah. Well, I
I
suppose
told
we
him
don't
to
keep.
stay.
Should we get stuff out of the? Wait, I should probably go back into character. Should we grab stuff out of the cart? Did we leave anything of importance there?
Yeah, I was
I
actually
thought it
gonna
was
ask the DM.
Carrying us.
Yeah, what did that have in there?
You.
Okay. I figured whatever we had.
And
we'd
some
probably
grain,
use, right?
and a couple 100 pounds of grain, apparently.
Couple 100 pounds of grain.
You guys were tightly packed to keep that horse
know-
alive for 18 days.
You guys know that grain that we had to shift around to be comfortable inside of the wagon?
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember the hundreds of pounds of grain.
Say 360 pounds of grain.
160 kilos. But yeah, we
Alright. So, as you collect your belongings, say goodbye to the butcher maimed fillet of fish horse, and you progress forward.
Oh God.
You all travel for about 4 days now. Obviously, expending your horse rations, and then Alar and whomever else could help, procuring more throughout the days. Alar, June, and Zio, you start to notice the skies at night getting very oddly darker, the clouds becoming very thick, and you all are getting, except for Ecclesias and Zio, getting bitter cold at night. You start
Even
to
in the warm
remember,
clothes.
and you remember that the period of time called Fell Night is coming upon you within the next few days. These being a small period of time where there will be no moon, and it is the coldest 3 days out of the year. So cold that you all know that you would need to find shelter to survive it.
Question: does that mean we've had long rest?
Yes, you guys have had
okay.
long rest. You guys can long rest up. And this
Okay.
also includes Ecclesias with the ring and Zio with the boots. You would both also need to find shelter to survive. The nights can get, depending on where you are, in the Great North, you can get anywhere from, negative 50 to negative 70 Fahrenheit. But you would know that you'd be pushing just on that cusp down here.
How would the Furbolgs? How would I have done it? I mean, I'm guessing we would have gone into our igloos.
You would go into
made a
your
big fire.
homes and have fires and stay inside. You would hunt previous to it. Being out here, you would know that you would need to find some literal shelter with the lack of time provided.
So
I can't build an igloo in
tents
like
won't work.
Your
3
tents won't
days.
work. Yeah, so you know it to give you an exact time, because the day that we left was Alar's birthday, which is the 29th of Iceover. So based on that, that means
7
that
days.
1, 2, 3, 4. It is the 33rd of Iceover. So in 4 days will be the first day of Fell Night.
And
Can-
it lasts 3 days, you said?
Last 3 days, and there will be no light on those days.
Can I not build an igloo in that time?
Not one that would be able to sustain everyone.
You
As-
said it's how many days from Alar's birthday?
It's been 4 days. Sorry. So it is the
4.
day following what I just said.
Didn't the drink last for a week?
That's for 10 days.
Oh, yeah, or tea.
10 days. Yeah.
The drink would be equivalent to, you guys aren't feeling, that's a good point to note. You guys would not have had to do the exhaustion things before. It didn't pan out anyway. You guys didn't have any exhaustion, whatever. But that drink going over gives you about the exact same effect that the ring that Ecclesias has and your boots do.
So it's not gonna be enough.
We
It's
still
not
need
gonna
to
be
find
sufficient.
shelter. Yeah. I will look up at the sky, noticing that, being from, this general area. I'll turn to everybody. I don't know about the rest of you that have maybe never been this far north, but usually when the sky starts looking like this, we're getting really close to the coldest days of the year, and it's not going to be safe for us to stay out here.
No, it is not.
Is there anywhere nearby that we would know that would be shelter? Or
June, make a perception check.
because I would have had to travel this, would I also be able to perception?
Sure, you and Zio can. Yeah.
Can I make mine through
June
duo?
would be advantage.
Checking 100 feet.
Advantage?
This is more of your memory check to see if you know if anywhere's around.
Yeah.
Oh, no of anywhere. Okay.
You
Okay.
said perception?
Just make a wisdom check.
Three.
So perception is 16.
Okay.
I
Nick?
got the same.
Okay. Zio?
Oh, drop my die.
Oh.
Nowhere close.
Alrighty. So Zio thinks there's nothing anywhere, and you're all dead. But
We're all gonna die.
Zio,
Yeah,
calm down.
but
It's okay, Zio.
Alar and June. Alar, you would know. You would both know this, but Alar vaguely would know that there is a town of about the amount of time you have left to travel north of here. And June, you would know specifically that the town's name is Yaris.
Yaris. Okay.
Spelled Yaryes. Yaris.
I will turn to the group, kind of like looking around, trying to get like a somewhat, I don't know, gathering of my surroundings, and I'll kind of look to Alar first and be like, I think that there's a town nearby. I'll turn to the rest of the group. There's a town named Yaris that I think we might be close to. We're gonna have to, make haste, but I think we might be able to make it.
I don't remember the town's name, but yeah, it was a quaint little place. Good enough to stay warm.
I think that's our only option.
It will not be a winery, Zio.
Well, that's fine. I was actually curious if this was your hometown, Drew.
No.
Anywhere close?
No.
To
Well,
give everybody a general note, you're about a month's travel away from where you need to be. Traveled about half the distance to Summit's Peak.
we are quite a long ways away from home, some more than others, right, guys?
Very cold.
We're going closer to mine, though.
Yeah,
I can
nervous
feel it.
smile. I've
And
never been
I'll-
this far north. It's terrible.
I'll turn
A nervous smile because I'm getting closer to home.
I'll turn to Zio and say, Yaris is not my home and it's not near it, but we are getting closer.
I think that we could probably, if you feel it's okay, we could probably swing by if you wanted. We could probably send Kane a message saying that we'll be delayed a little bit, and I'm sure he wouldn't mind waiting on us.
DM real quick, do I know if because I think that we may have touched base on this before, if my town is on the way to Summit's Peak?
Mm-hmm. It's farther up the river,
Okay, so it would be out of the way.
technically.
Like how much?
Like an episode, 2 episodes.
3 episodes.
Give or take 8 days. No, give or take like.
A whole Iliad.
Let me look at the only fucking picture in maps.
We're not allowed to put anything else in there.
No,
I
never.
hope you know that. We
Yeah,
gotta make a
nothing can
separate channel.
ever. Yeah, nothing can
It's
ever
one
go
channel,
in maps.
one photo. And if you want to follow us along, head on over to Arcane Archives Instagram, where you can app of Falbian. You can follow our journey as we take it in real life. Real life in our minds.
Real life imagination.
18 days-ish, depending on weather.
Okay.
Two whole Enneads.
Yeah. So I'll turn to Zio. To be honest, it's a little bit out of the way. Like, at least 2 Enneads out of the way. And
I think dying in the middle of the forest is more outs of the way. Oh, you're talking about your home. I'm sorry, I'm an idiot. I'm gonna shut up.
Level up.
there's really nothing there to see anyway. So I think the fastest route to wherever we're going next is probably best.
I just know how excited I am to go home. And we've been on the road together for a long time now, so I thought that I know the situation's not the same, but maybe you would like to see your home too. And I'd be willing to wait an extra 2 Enneads or so to help make that happen for you.
I don't know if anyone else is around, but June like visibly gets like very solemn and sad. And Zio, when I say that there's nothing there, I mean that there's nothing there. The last time that I was there, everyone that I knew was gone. Every home, every building, every little shopping cart, everything was just gone. So I don't know why or for what good it would do to go back now. The last time I went back was a year or 2 ago. It was before I met you guys, and there's nothing.
Oh, well. Sorry if I brought up bad memories. I just thought that it would make you happy.
No, and I know that your intentions were good, and you see June try to put on like a different face. And Zio, I wish I had the excitement that you did. And I appreciate you trying to give me a little bit of that. But I don't know if there's a point at this point.
Well, when we get to my house, you'll have a room all to yourself.
Oh, I look forward to that.
Was this a private conversation?
Not really.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was gonna ask you, because I fast forward a couple days. Did you want to send a message to Chester?
Yeah, I would have liked to have done that.
What would you like to say?
Chester, this is Ecclesius. I hope this message finds you well.
What?
You went too fast for me.
I'm at 10.
No, you're at 5. You went too fast for him. Remember that.
You're exactly 10.
10.
We are a month away from Uthran.
Oh, this is too many already. Fuck, and I forgot what we were even supposed to specifically ask him. It's been like an entire.
While you
Ennead.
think of that, I'll throw something on top of it. You don't have to introduce yourself if you don't want to, because the recipient knows who's sending it.
Yeah.
It's just politeness. It's manners.
As he's like, it's just politeness. Fuck, I forgot.
Well, it's all, what if he's in the middle of doing a
And
poop? It's
you're
just
out.
like,
I need information.
okay, so I was at 6 or 11. or 16.
How the war started, I believe it was.
That's right. That's
The
right.
peace, the peace
The
between.
peace treaty.
Sorry, the peace.
The exact
How
opposite.
How-
Lord
What you
Nudal
said.
practiced peace.
That's right.
between
With
them.
Nudal.
You want to just start
How-
over?
Yes,
Or-
I'll answer for him. Yes, he wants to start over.
Hello, this is Ecclesius. We need to know how Lord Nudar brokered peace in the past, in the first place. This information will benefit us.
You should have been like, by the way, how are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
Where's my
Boring conversation.
Chester voice?
Bring it out.
Just gonna have to mute and figure it out.
I'm
It's got to be
I'm a
compatible.
C. I'm a
Takes
C
me
and
from my
say.
He's
Unix.
classically trained in high school.
Yeah,
He'll
I'm
figure
a
it out.
human C and say. Ecclesius. That is a tall question. One that I could answer, but may be difficult, being limited to only a certain set of words. Ha.
Ha. It's like Dr. Evil doing the Macarena.
Oh,
And I
Well,
would have
fair enough.
relayed 4 days ago that he had no substantial information to give us because it's a tall question.
Ask him a shorter
I just
question.
pictured Scott Pilgrim. It's
Sup?
kind of a big question.
Zelda, Tetris.
Mhm.
So we're back into the present moment when you guys were talking about your town being gone.
I won't press you any further. So, without being too impolite, Zero, I have a question for you and your family, because you are of a royal ilk, yes? Of course. So, how will I be accepted there? You know that my race is rare, and I often find prejudice amongst my kind. Of course, that's why I have these.
And I'll kind of just pull out the mask.
But you have all made me feel more comfortable, so are they accepting of different kinds of creatures?
Yes, there's. Uthran is not made up of a singular race or a few different races. There's some variety. You are the first of your race that I have ever seen, but I don't think that you would experience any prejudice that you are at least not accustomed to. I would hope that keeping you in my company would earn you some extra praise, but with how things are right now, I don't know. I don't think that you have to worry, though.
I will keep that in mind. Of course, I'm always prepared for it. I was just hoping to meet your parents as myself, right off the bat. So I will
My-
do that with your guidance.
Yeah, my parents won't have an issue.
Okay.
So, as you all now probably fairly quickly, not wanting to get left out literally in the cold, start to hightail it towards Yaris. About 4 or 5 days pass. About 4 days pass, and on this 5th day, it is seemingly magical in the sense that the sun does not seem to rise as the temperatures get so increasingly bitter cold. But luckily enough for all of you, you're able within the hour to come upon a small town. You notice that there is smoke billowing from the chimneys, as there is quite a lot of light emanating out of the buildings that are there, probably scattered around about 10 different buildings. As you notice one larger one being what would either be an inn or a haberdashery or a tavern. As you all head there, just quickly wanting to get back into the warmth, that is where we are going to take a break for this session.
Oh,
And we will explore Yaris. No Honda Toyota jokes. All right. I do want to go back and say thank
Got some thanks.
Yes, I do. I can't find where it was, but Shay also gifted a sub that I never shouted out. Thank you very much, Shay.
Shay.
And then
So
Shay
sweet.
BB.
proceeded to donate or give 100 bits, and then Let's gave 500 bits, and then Let's gave a sub to Carney's Sideshow. By the way, Carney, I know that you left, but thank you for hanging out. And then Shay gave another 100 bits, and then Boredom TM followed. So thank you very much to everybody. Enjoy. And there's another 100 bits with the Corgi, because of course the Corgo.
No.
And I think, yeah, you're only 200 off from tying Let's. But
Don't try me.
stop giving money to
try
yourself.
me.
And then
Oh,
Dave
my
gives
God.
out
Oh my goodness.
give out 2 community subs to Anki Munchie.
They were waiting for the
And-
breaks.
We only have 117 followers and 65 subs.
Best
We have a
ratio
lot
on
of
Twitch.
generous.
I was
Yeah.
about to say
You're
we have
all
a
insane.
65 we have a 65% sub rate.
Holy
Yeah.
cow.
Go ahead, Nick. Go ahead. But don't go anywhere. We're going to take about a 10-15 minute break, and then we will be back to see what the town of Yaris has in store for the group. Do not go far. We will be back.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Alrighty. So, as the collective, as you all rush into this home, knowing that it is somewhere in the mid-afternoon, but it's still being almost dark as night, a little bit lighter, but still very dark. As the wind is passing through this makeshift main street, as the buildings are funneling it through, as you're all chilled to the bone. Even Zio and Ecclesius, you feel the bite of the breeze up your backside, which was bitter, brisk, and bleak.
On your butt cheeks.
On your booty, butt cheeks. As you all head in, as the door whips open with the wind, as you head into this inn, and you quickly shut the door behind you, as you hear a voice from the other side. Make sure you bar the door! Bar the door!
Hey, we're barring the door.
As you see, there's a piece of wood, and you guys bar the door shut.
Do I know the name of this place?
The tavern?
Mm-hmm.
Probably not.
Okay.
As you guys were coming in, you kind of look out the windows. You notice that most of the other buildings are either rickety or they don't look lived in. This would be the only one that has the light pouring out of it. It is very warm on the inside, as you see a large hearth that is lit. And this is a very odd inn, as instead of your traditional, there's a bar and there's rooms and 2 stories. It is all one open space, as you have the large hearth in the back, and you have a large table in the center, but as well as around the areas, you see some rods with curtains on them, or sheeting, as you see beds that are around. You see probably about 15 beds around the outside of the room, well, building, but we'll say room. As you see standing standing near a cauldron that you can presume to have food in it, you see a middle-aged, half-elven woman, graying hair that is pulled up into a messy bun, as she kind of goes back to stirring the pot. What would you all like to do? And sorry, you do notice one other thing. You do notice a gentleman sitting in a chair, but by the fire, seems to have like a mug of some sort or a glass. Seems dressed well.
I would definitely like walk to the hearth before I'd even think about drinks and stuff, just to warm up real quick.
Yep, I'm right there with him, just like mall walking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
towards the
and then
hearth.
I would turn towards the figure in the chair and just for niceties.
Good evening. May we share your fire?
Well, of course you can share the fire. And
Thank
as
you,
you
stranger.
kind of look over, you see a thick mustache that comes down, and not all the way, not like Hulk Hogan, but a thick mustache that comes to about the middle of his lips, or his mouth, and short red hair, kind of has hat hair, as you see, similarly to Chester's bolo hat sitting next to him as he's reading some sort of book or journal.
May I ask what you are reading, friend? Sorry to disturb.
It's okay. This is the adventures of Eclinius de Borea.
Can I do a? I want to peel through my brain and see if that name rings a bell at all. Maybe I might know
Sure.
a little bit.
Make
to
a
start
history
some
check.
small conversation. I will gladly roll a history check. That is 22.
22.
Ooh.
You have heard of these books before. It is a famed adventurer, whether the tales be tall or literal. You have seen and probably partaken in a few of the either passages of the books, but it is unsure if it is tall tales or if it's fiction or non-fiction of an adventurer named Eclinius de Borea.
Eclinius de Borea. So, tell me, stranger, do you think that these tales are bigger than life itself? Or do you think that they actually happened?
I am not sure. That is the question. But I'd like to think that they are.
Well, Eclinius de Borea, he's many tales to be told of his adventures, and, strange things tend to happen. It just depends on if we believe the people writing it down.
That is very true. And there's a lot of you. And he's now noticing that he's surrounded
Hello.
by 6 people.
Yeah, I've got
Um,
my butt to the hearth, and I'll lean over hi.
Hello. Well, I guess that I should introduce myself. My name is Carlisle. As he lifts up his, which you can see better now, a wine glass. Nice to meet all of you. Should I introduce myself individually, or?
Oh,
Yeah, let's
I'd
do
not-
that.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
My name is
Bob Vance,
Carlisle,
kind of
and what is your name? I can only assume Lord based on your signet.
I was about to say, is he looking at me?
Mhm.
Yeah. Zio. Lord Zio Vunra. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. And you are? And he looks at you. I was gonna say Cthulhu. He looks at Uridin, and he holds up a smoke. Uridin, and you, my tall friend.
My name's Alar. Pleasure to meet you.
It's a pleasure. And you, madame.
My name is June Ashtara. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I love that last name. It is beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And you, my well-read friend.
My name is Crisius Ionomerius.
And I'll turn and give a cordial bow.
It is a pleasure to meet you, and thank you for letting us share your hearth.
And it's not my heart, that would be hers, as I forgot to look up her name.
Hello.
Duh, where is the tab? I'm sorry, this is so
Francine.
Okay, that's his
Look, we're playing
Yasona.
Gag Beasts right now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yasona.
Yes, Solma.
And she's like, Yasona, yes. This is my establishment. Hello, nice to meet all of you. Make yourselves at home. Food will be ready momentarily.
What does she look like?
half-elven woman, middle-aged-ish for a half-elf. You can see her hair is starting to gray, pulled into a messy bun.
Ooh.
As
Go ahead.
sorry, as she walks away, I'll just say, thank you for welcoming us inside.
You are welcome. We are not open year-round, but we try to, when it gets close to Night, we try to open up for the passerbys that may be stuck in the winter's bitter breeze.
Well, myself and my companions, we appreciate it.
You're very welcome. But please make yourself at home. Any bunk is yours.
I go back to like warming my butt on the fire.
I would pick a bunk that's in a corner of the room.
Which corner? There is 3 corners you can choose from. The one, if you're standing in the doorway, you're to your left, like looking into the building, to your left, to your right, or into your far left left corner.
Yeah.
You're left, right.
Far right.
All right.
Or sorry, near right.
Near right. Very well. Yep. So you go over and you set your things up.
Can I follow Alar? And as like he's putting his stuff down, I want to just spring and just be like top bunk, and like jump up to the top.
Yep.
Are there? Oh, is there top bunks?
There's some. The one you
okay.
chose because he made that, and that's funny, is.
I'll kind of like bounce, and then as like you're putting your stuff down, just kind of hang over.
It looks like that we are the bunk buddies now.
We are. Be careful, Whodunit might be jealous.
Oh, yes. I know it's silly, but I do enjoy a good bunk. We have a...
I promise I will not kick you from below.
Oh, yes, I appreciate that. I am not a snorery either, so you will be okay with sleeping by me.
Yes, I am easy sleep when I end up falling asleep.
That's good to know.
I'll put my bag of holding down and like my other jacket to like hang off the side to kind of dry off a little bit. And now that we're kind of warmed up, and I'll kind of like kick my feet off away from Alar, not onto Alar, and go back to everybody warming their buns.
Very well. As you're kind of coming back, you guys hear on the door. Please, it is cold. Let us in.
Oh yeah, I'll run over and lift it.
All right. So as you and I sounded way too much like what's it called? Tim Allen.
All the doors now are like that.
Shut up, Nick. Don't say what you're about to say. All right. So as you open the door, you see quickly coming
Probably
in.
work there.
You see a male drow. Kind of quickly past you with a streak of white hair following him, and a female halfling. And the drow is like, "Hey, thank you. It is bitter out there. It's cold."
As I'm putting the
Not
bar
what that
down.
was gonna be. Never mind.
As I'm putting the bar down and shutting the door.
Of course, friend. We only arrived ourselves, and the fell night is mercilessly speech.
Yes, it is. Not fun up here. Blah, the fire. And he walks off in the halfling. Thank you, that was very kind.
Yeah, you're welcome, halfling.
As I'm like kind of giving introductions to the halfling, as the male drow walked away, can I do like a quick eye and see if they're armed? Because Carlisle didn't look like he was armed. It looked like he was just kind of.
Make a perception check.
Do I do drow speak Elvish, or do they speak something different?
Would you know? You can make a history check.
I speak
16. 16
No,
for
would
perception.
you know what they would speak?
Oh yeah,
16 on
I
perception?
don't have a reason why.
You notice that they both have adventuring packs on, and quick glance, you also notice there's a bunk that has a ye old suit jacket, kind of on the pole of it, and a bag you can assume to be Carlisle's. And you notice that the drow does have what seems to be a very ornate handled rapier. And then you notice the halfling. She has a bag, and then you notice kind of strapped to the bottom of the bag is a club that has some like metal rivets on it.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Master Halfling. I'm Ecclesios. May I have your name?
Yes, my name is Lizarn.
Lizarn, it's a pleasure to meet you. I won't keep you any longer from the warm hearth. We can
Thank you.
share a drink and stories later.
Yes, I will probably be here a couple nights. And she walks over. As June right next to you and kind of like stumbling into you, not like aggressively pushing you out of the way, but just very quick to get to the fire. The male drow walks up. I apologize, it is cold.
I'll,
And he puts his hands out to the fire.
Yeah, I'll just kind of like take a step over and it's okay. I know the feeling.
Yes. And the halfling walks up next to you on the other side and more daintily, pardon me.
I think there's enough to go around.
And Carlisle, well, I will give you your space if any of you would like to sit by the hearth. And he grabs his cup and he goes over to the dinner table that's in the center of the room, and he sits there and kind of leans up against the pole that's next to the bench, like one of the supports for the building.
Have I ever seen a drow before?
I would say you are confident you have not.
Do I know what he is?
Yes, they would be known what they are, but they would be very rare, especially in the north.
Sorry, Jay was gonna urge you.
Yeah, I was just wondering if I had ever seen one either. But
Your
you said they
family
were
would
in
probably
North,
look
so-
down on drow, so you probably have never.
Okay.
The way I will put this, if you're trying to think of how to roll with that, you have heard them talked down upon, but you've never had your own dealings, and it wasn't so regularly or malicious that it's like, we fucking hate, the dwarves. It's
It
not
wasn't, like taught to me.
right. You were not taught to
Gotcha.
hate them, but you have not heard kind things.
Okay.
It was a 19 on that history roll, by the way.
What was it for again? I'm sorry.
If drow speaks Elvish, I was more asking a question. I know they speak Elvish, but I was wondering if they like to speak Elvish.
I
No.
hate the language that I speak.
Well, no, because they, don't. I don't know how well they associate with elves.
Yeah, no, I got it. Just like if you only
Yeah.
speak one language, it's like, man, even as I'm explaining this, I just hate how I sound.
I believe Anthony a little bit more than I believe you because I know that you actually.
Sounds the same.
You would know
Grazie.
absolutely no idea what they would prefer. You would know that they would speak Elvish, but you would have no idea what they would prefer.
Okay.
Being from the south, would I have seen a drow? Or a few?
Has any of us seen a drow?
I was about to say.
Your clans would have had dealings with them, but it would have been weird for you to have direct contact with them.
I'm gonna ask for Uridan. Has Uridan seen a drow?
So what I will
For
say,
Erda.
Kate, is you've physically been the only person here to probably see them, but it wasn't in a, hey, I'm having a conversation, more in a, somebody that was important was dealing with somebody from the drow community that was important, and you were seeing it.
So it was like two kings almost. Or two like
If you want to,
diplomats.
maybe not that extreme, but it would be weird for you to be like, hi,
Hi.
But you are probably, I would say you're probably the only one in the group that has physically seen a drow.
Alright.
Hi.
So I'm going to go up to June as she's standing near the hearth, and I'm just gonna kind of like grab at your cloak on your shoulder and try and like pull you to the side.
I'll kind of notice that he's trying to pull me out and be like, oh, excuse me, friends.
Yes, whatever you need. As you see the halfling kind of walk up and sit up on one of the chairs and dangles their feet off.
What's up, Seal? What's going on?
Yeah, as I pull you aside, I'm just going to like look you in the eyes and kind of squint.
Squint back.
Focus. And I'll throw my hands up a little bit and then like tap my forehead.
What are you doing?
Talk to me.
Oh. And then I will telepathically talk to Zio
Oh.
and
I didn't even get it. I didn't even get it.
Glad somebody did.
and I will give him the ability to reply. I will be like, what is going on?
We're going to be here for a while, and it will probably be here with these other people for a while. Do you think we should find a way to store our belongings and, more importantly, maybe our coin pouches?
Also telepathically, like to Zio, I'll be like, I think it would be a good idea for us to all bunk near each other, and kind of keep an eye on all of our belongings as a group.
I think I'll have Duo keep watch over us at night.
And then kind of like out loud, would I have seen where Ecclesius and Alar would have went when they left?
I'm
me
grabbing
at
my
the hearth?
jacket after talking to him.
And I'll say, maybe if you want to grab, is there another bunk bed right next to it?
There are 4 more bunks, so that would fit everyone. So there's 4 more beds. Sorry, not bunks, beds. So there's the bunk bed, and then 4 individual beds next to that in a row.
We should probably go grab the rest of those that are all near each other.
Yeah, good idea.
Cthulhu, where are you?
Kind of just chilling by the fire.
Okay.
Relaxing.
Then I'll
Connie
kind of.
still there?
I'll after I say that to Zio, tap on Cthulhu. Hey, we're gonna go just claim our beds if you want to claim one, so we're all by each other.
Could you just put my shield on top of it?
If I have to carry your shield one more time, Cthulhu.
You'll love me forever. Thank you.
I take it, and this is my face.
I'll buy you a drink. I'm sorry. It's cold.
And then I will head over there, and I will put like my pack, kind of like underneath the bed. I'll put my warm, like winter gear, like on the hook of one of the beds, and I will put Cthulhu's shield on one of the beds.
Very well. So as all of you claim the bed, and then Uriden's spork is in the center of a pillow.
I was gonna say, how are we claiming Uriden?
Well, actually, specifically not. His only instruction is to not give away the spork, so that doesn't happen.
He has
lays down with
7.
his spork.
So, as that happens, what would you all like to do?
I'm gonna head back to the hearth.
Yeah, I'm gonna,
There's one seat available as you see the drow man has walked over to just to kind of theater the mind. You guys walk in the door, right? The walls left and right. There's, kind of a bunk on either side of that. He's walking over and he kind of puts his stuff on the bunk that's nearest your guys' area as the halfling walks over to the other side of the room and picks a bed that's over there.
So I'm going to sit down on my bed, and I'll snap, and Duo will appear in my lap.
Okay.
And I'm just going to sit on my bed, petting Duo, and observing the group.
Okay. Everybody else?
Alright, is June back at this point?
Mm-hmm.
Do any of you know, have ever met a drow before?
How quiet are you saying this?
I mean, nonchalantly.
Normally? Right.
I would reply in Orcish.
I have never met a drow before, but I speak their language. I speak Elvish.
Oh my god.
Aylar's voice
the commitment.
changes when he speaks Orcish. His
He
accent
loses the
changes.
rasp and he becomes
Yeah.
all cheek.
Yeah.
That's great.
I'll say that normally.
Oh my god.
I know their language, but I have never met one before. I know Elvish, but I've never met a drow before.
No, well, they're quite kind and quite kind people. No.
Would
They're
I?
not.
I was gonna say,
No,
would I?
it's not.
Yeah, would I know that if that's true or not?
I would once again, I would keep this conversation Orcish, and I would say,
I don't know if they're kind, but I know that halflings seems like a jovial fella.
Oh,
Oh.
I've dealt with a few.
It's a woman.
Fellas.
I used it as a general neutral term.
Okay,
alright?
just want to make sure.
I look
Well,
at both of
I've-
them. I don't understand what you're saying.
You're speaking in Orcish.
We're having
I
a
go back to-
conversation. That's what you need to know.
Which I was part of.
I go back to comment. Well, I've met a few. Yeah. Dealings with my clan in the old times.
I see.
I never personally talked to one because it would have been weird as I open an ale.
Well,
It would have been
mail.
weird. Ale.
Oh, ale. So open my mail.
As you're having this conversation, Zio kind of being, I don't know, you're sitting there. Everybody's kind of by the fire, right? Of your group.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you guys hear another knocking at the door as the drow walks up and lifts off the barred door as the wind whips open the door again as you see a female blue dragonborn walk in with black hair that's tasseled that comes down to the side of her head with a, it's very thin but tightly braided thin mohawk in the center and then two braids that come down the side of her head. As you hear a muffled conversation between the two as she helps close the door and she like slinks over. The cloak that she's wearing kind of going to the floor, so it almost kind of looks like she's floating with how like she's walking as you see her tail just behind her as she walks up. She doesn't pay you any mind as you're all sitting there talking.
I'll grab my bag of holding and then go over to the fire too to meet up with everybody. I don't want to leave that laying around.
Hello. It seems like this is a busy time for adventurers. We have all just arrived here.
Yes.
I'll kind of like poke the fire or add wood if there's like a little pile next to it or something. Maybe tend to it a little bit.
You kind of see a small area that's like dying out, and you see her like spit as a little bit of electricity comes out and ignites that area. And then
Oh,
this fire is not big enough.
I would
yes.
talk to the owner if you want it larger. It's not our place to use their wood. That sounds dirty.
As you hear, Yasorna, yes, I should probably build the fireball.
Thank you.
Would you mind? And looks at you, Ayla. Would you mind helping me get some firewood?
Absolutely.
Right. Carlisle, would you
Dragon.
shut the door,
Oop.
please? And of course, yes. And he follows and shuts the door behind you. As the conversation will happen at the same time, Ecclesias. But just to explain, you guys head out again. Very bitter brisk breeze as you go outside, and there is a large collection of wood that you bring. A good bushel each. As Carlisle opens the door again and lets you all in, as she goes and tends the fire. As they were outside, and the Dragonborn is standing there. Go ahead.
Lady Dragonborn, forgive me for disturbing you, but I can keep you warm. I have a flute that can help warm you from within.
And I'll pull it out and just try to read her face or read her demeanor.
If it is okay.
Her demeanor looks pissed, and she's like, "That would be most welcome. Please."
And na 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 na. And I'll do my
Where's your
best to.
Na 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 na.
Does she sing along?
She ascends.
Christopher Tolkien is knocking at our door right now. Cease and desist. Cease and desist. But yeah, I'll do my best to play a nice,
Okay. Make a performance check and roll a
relatively-
percentile die.
relatively jovial tune. Fucking fuck.
Wait, which one was the bad roll though?
The fucking one that probably matters the most. I don't even
The
want
one that matters.
Sounds like dog shit.
Yeah, the one that matters the most. So 88 on the percentile die, and for performance with my +3, that's a 5.
So you play, as you're thinking Tolkien, you play Jimmy Crack Corn. But luckily, the as it literally sounds like you're like. She does seem to get a little bit more life, and I said,
I can play some flute.
and she's like, thank you. And she kind of takes her hood down and walks over to a bed, and she's the only one that actually like puts her stuff up and then like sits on the bed.
Dry lips.
I'll put the flute back.
That wasn't as good as last time.
I know, it was really bad.
Really bad that time.
It was really bad. I'm
Just
embarrassed.
imagine what's gonna happen if you roll a 1. Oh, it's good.
I was gonna say the
accidentally,
flute just
like-
like blows up.
Or I
You
just
play Rick
inhale
roll.
it.
Yeah,
and it's
you-
like stuck like Squidward with the fork.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Please make that happen.
So the Drow walks back over, and he walks over to the. Actually, the Drow wouldn't. Carlisle walks over to the cauldron that's over in the corner, which seems to be kind of like, I don't know how to describe, a pantry nook. It's like a cooking station. There's pantries around. There is a small fire that has another vent that goes up for the cauldron that she's cooking, and he goes and he takes a little sip of it, and yeah, his back kind of to you, like not, you know, you can just see him scoop in. He's like, it's hot. And he comes back over and sits back down. Your Sorn? When will it be ready? Soon. I'll probably wait about another hour or two to see if anybody else is coming before we have to shut the doors.
Is that soup?
It's a stew.
A stew.
Yes. I had to make
Is
it. It is actually delicious. It is made with horse.
Did you happen to find a half a horse? That's great. We actually have horse meat, fresh horse meat. So if we can contribute, but we are happy to purchase, and you're good.
As all of your
What?
friends are looking at you like,
No, we won't have the stew. We will not have stew.
No, we don't have any
we
more
don't
horse
have
meat.
horse
Oh, we
Ecclesiastes.
don't have
We-
horse meat.
Alar. Alar doesn't hear the conversation because he was out fetching firewood. He's like,
All of the stew. What? Well, this is good. What's in it?
you're not eating it yet.
okay.
Oh, okay.
I would still go for the stew. I don't give a fuck.
It's not done. She's not done making it. But no.
Um,
Thank you anyway. But it's just temperature needs to get up to it, and then down from it. But so, since we'll be here for the next few days, my name is Yasona, as Carlisle has said, and who may all of you be?
Ecclesiastes on the Marius. Thank you for housing us on these deep night, fair
Yes.
night evenings.
You're welcome.
It's nice to meet you. My name is June Ashtara, and I do have a little bit of experience in these type of settings. So if there's anything that you need help with, please let me know.
Well, yes, maybe a meal in the near future you can help me prepare.
Absolutely.
And the rest of you?
My name's Cthulhu Smith.
Nice to meet you. And you, I should have caught your name before we went out into the cold.
Alar.
Nice to meet
Pleasure.
you. And you, young man?
I'm sitting on my bunk still, or my
And
bed.
not so young.
And not so young, yeah.
Quite young.
All right. So as some...
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to, after we did introductions, I was going to walk over to the drow gentleman in the corner.
Okay. I think he was up by the fire at this point, so you walk up to him as he sits down in the chair. Still has the rapier on his side, but just kind of curls up into the corner and is staring into the fire.
Forgive my my intrusion. My name is Ecclesios, and I cannot help but notice your rapier. It is well crafted.
Yes. As you see the bright red eyes looking back at you with the white hair and the very pale gray-black skin. Yes, it was bestowed to me to my master. From my master.
I too have a master. I have not been provided weapons, but it is a great honor to be received gift from those that you deem greater than yourself. If you don't mind me asking, and if hopefully no offense is taken, I have not seen one of your kind before. What brings you and your friends out this way?
Without getting too much into the stones of it, business.
Us too. I respect your privacy. I do not mean to pry. I just figured we might be here a few nights, so we are eventually heading to Uthran.
You are alright. What is your name?
My name is Ecclesios. It's a pleasure to meet you.
And I'll give a slight head nod.
He gives a nod to you without kind of breaking eye contact. My name is Yazareth.
Yazareth, it's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for your name.
I do have my jacket on, by the way, just so if like he's trying to eye me up and down.
Not really losing eye contact with you. All right.
I will leave you to your thoughts, and thank you for your time.
Well, Zio sitting on the bed, you hear a very strong wind on the outside. It's odd though. It doesn't seem like it's passing by. It sounds like a collection of wind is moving together as it starts on one side of the wall and then passes past where you'd be sitting, and then as it gets up to the door. And
is it a ball of wind?
You can't see it. He just hears a collection of wind. Like instead of hearing like,
yeah,
it sounds like if my phone was the area, it's just like as yes.
I was gonna say, you said that there's a window that I'm hearing this against, or can I see
the wall? Just the wall, because your bed's against the wall. You hear this. As the sound seems to go towards the front of the building, as you guys notice the door jiggle and like somebody's trying to get in, as you see snow come up under the door as a large gust of wind comes up under the door and lifts the bar off of it, and it throws it to the front as the door kind of whips open as a light bluish gray skinned man walks in with white hair that is kind of wispy, as he shuts the door behind him and muscles the bar back on the door as you see a air genasi.
I was about to say,
has anybody? I'll just ask. I'll ask on behalf of everybody.
Who and
do
who?
we? So we do. So since we were given the description that it's an air genasi, have any of us seen or know of them?
You have met one other type of genasi, specifically a fire genasi.
Hell yeah!
In the travels to Therinville, but that is the only genasi anybody has any sort of capacity with.
I'll kind of turn and kind of like do like a double take, and yeah, I will approach this stranger, and
as you're walking up, you can see like his clothes are flowing, and he does not seem to be as cold as everybody else. As this wind that you're hearing kind of fades, as the dust that's on the ground kind of and disperses and settles, as he shrugs off a little bit of snow.
When I walk up, my tail unwraps from my waist and comes up.
Yes, it's not different, but same. Forgive my abruptness, but it has been a long time since I've seen someone.
And I'll kind of make my voice a little quieter so as not to be offensive or abrupt.
One of your kind. It's a pleasure to meet you, Genasi. I am Ecclesios.
Yes. The pleasure is all yours. My name is Tempest.
Tempest, thank you for your name. It seems a lot of us have arrived here. We must have all been not too far out in the wilderness to have all arrived at the same time. There's plenty of space around the hearth and the stew. Yosana said will be freshly done shortly.
Thank you. I may retrieve some. Are you the owner of this home?
No, we have just arrived from a long journey from the south. Yosana, and I'll look to see if she's around and motion to her. She is the owner of this place.
Yes. Please send her my way. As he kind of turns and walks to the far left corner.
Would I know that Genasi are usually pretty...
The one
like
that you
this?
met was not so uppity and elitist, but was very brash. So it would be safe to assume at this point they have very extreme personalities.
He's not... I would know that this is just more of like... not like a personality of him being like a pompous asshole. Like they're just kind of very straight and...
The last one you ran into was very like gruff and angry demeanor. And he has a more uppity elitist attitude. So you would assume that whatever personalities they do have are very extreme, not that they are just perceived that way.
But yes, right away. I'll get Yoshana for you.
As he walks over.
And my the caretaker from the assembly is kicking out in me, and I'll go to Yoshana. Yoshana, not sorry to interrupt you, but the gentleman that just entered, he requires your service. He just told me to ask for you.
Okay, thank you.
Apologies.
She walks over into the corner, out of your guys' audio range.
I'll head back to the group by the fire and just kind of like motion to whomever is closest to me out of the collective and just kind of like head tilt over to where Tempest went.
Yeah. It's in the engine, I see. They are quite rare.
This feels like the beginning of a joke.
There's no joke. This is a observation.
So
Verbal, a tabaxi, and a genasi walk into a tavern.
I'm going to stand up from the bed and leave Duo sitting there on my bed, and I will tell him telepathically to keep an eye over our stuff and to let me know if anything happens. And then I will walk over and join the rest of the group, kind of looking around at these strange new types of people that I've never seen before.
Okay, you walk over to the group. Sorry. It's not dying.
I saw it turn red at first. I was like, come on.
I thought it was dim.
I put it that way. I put it that way so it would live.
No, it's a good idea.
I will be 100% with you, Jay. I listened to almost nothing after you left Duo. What'd you do? You walked over to the group and then did what? I'm sorry. I apologize.
On my way walking over to the group, I just wanted to be like looking at these new, types of people that I've never seen before, and probably wouldn't be so subtle about it. I'm walking over as I'm like staring at these new faces.
Okay. As they make eye contact. Tempest, not that you've introduced yourself yet, but just because there's so many characters I'm introducing right now, just to keep things straight. Tempest does not take much mind of you. Carlisle is reading. Yazrith does notice you, and so does Lizarna.
That
As
last
you're
one is the drow, yeah?
Halfling. Yazrith is the drow.
Yazrith. And what was the dragonborn? Did she notice me at all?
You don't know her name, so we'll not mention it, but she does not seem to be paying much mind to any of you.
Okay.
So you walk over to talk about these people. Proceed.
And not really wanting to talk, just wanting to get back to the group and not be by myself.
He's staring. non-subway.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So, at this point, the closest person to the door would be Cthulhu, as you guys hear a very faint but audible enough for you guys to hear on the door.
I got it.
And I'll get up and
All right.
unleash the dude and then get back in.
All right. So as you open it, the wind is stronger than ever as it whips it open. As you're even struggling to shut it, as a woman who is womanly figure who is draped in a very ornate silk cloth, just kind of walks in and kind of walks past you, stops, gives you a slight nod as you're like. As Carlisle runs up to help you, and so does Yasorna, as you all kind of shut it as they wait for you to put the bar on, as you put the bar on. And Yasorna speaks, "That might need to be the last one. The storm is getting too thick." As she ends up taking, there's a kind of like crude metal lock on the top of it that she locks shut, and then at the bottom is like a little latch that she puts into the ground. As she... God, this is the worst one I've seen in years. As she walks back over to the stew pot, as the
What did her face look like? Sorry.
you didn't see it; it was kind of veiled over.
Oh.
As she looks around and she starts to walk over to the corner.
I'm gonna go approach her.
Hello. My name's
Hello.
Cthulhu.
Nice to meet you. My name is Belki.
That's a very interesting name. Never heard that one before.
As she goes to take her veil off, you see her hands are a deep brown color, longer nails. As she removes her veil, as you see she is a deep brown tiefling with dark bluish purple eyes.
Oh,
Say
that's
a red tiefling? Red
Dark
tiefling?
brown tiefling.
Red hair?
No.
Kidding, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
It's not your lady.
Back to level 1.
This might sound insensitive. I don't want it to be, but I've never seen your kind in that variant or your color.
It's quite all right. You can consider yourself graced. And
Very nice.
she takes off. She has like a fur shawl. She kind of takes off. She hands it to you. She like puts it out to you to take.
I don't own this establishment, but you know what? I'll just be nice to you. I'm not usually like this. And
I'm sorry. I just assumed you were at the door. As she kind of floats away on her own little inflated self as she...
Take my shit away.
I picture that's the noise. Take my shit, boy. Says every mom at an orphanage. Take my shit, boy.
As she goes and sits down on a bed and she begins to warm up a
fight
bit.
the edge, not to burn it. Fight the edge.
And then I put it on the coat rack.
All right.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that you put it on. Like, yourself.
The full fabulous of Cthulhu is out now.
Alrighty.
Boas do bring something out in you. I don't know what it is.
It's true.
So as the day proceeds, getting more towards the deep evening, Yasorna serves the food as everybody, with the exception of the Dragonborn, comes to the table, whether they sit near each other or separately. The Dragonborn walks up and she gets her bowl and bread and takes it back over to her bunk. As the rest of you, including Yasorna and the group, are all sitting at the table, what would you all like to do?
Who am I sitting like next to?
I would assume your
Pick.
group.
Okay, fair enough.
You get the
I will kind of just look around at the fanciful group of creatures at this table, and I'm gonna first turn to Yasorna with an R.
The owner?
Sorna.
Yeah,
Yasorna.
yes, Yasorna.
Yesorra.
Okay.
N. Yasorna. N-A.
Yasorna, the stew is. I did it
Oh, it
right.
keeps going.
Did it right.
Fuck, I need to respell it, sorry.
Yasorna.
Yasorna.
Your stew is delicious,
nice.
and I won't presume to speak for everyone in your establishment, but I think that we're all grateful for your shelter and your generous generosity with sharing what you have. The next few days I know are nobody really wants to be outside, and
Yes.
I cheers to you.
Thank you.
Oh,
It's-
cheers to that, yes.
And then everybody kind of cheers what they have, with the exception of the drow and Belky. Clank! As you're all enjoying the meal. It is very humble meal, but it'll keep warmth in your belly. And I don't assume anybody else will be here. It's very rare that this many people show up.
Who would be sitting across from me out of all the people that? Well,
Say the drow. We'll say the drow.
Okay. So, as I'm like eating the stew,
So, Yazareth. We are here, obviously all adventurers here, but do you have any fun stories of your travels? We can exchange.
kind of looking around, sort of trying to break the ice to everybody, because I feel like everybody's just in silent, because nobody really knows each other.
My travels are supposed to be kept to myself. As he
Oh.
continues to eat and make a perception check.
Gladly, DM, I'll roll.
Ooh, ooh.
22.
You swear that you hear a scoff coming from the Dragonborn sitting on her bed as you look over, and you swear that you see her roll her eyes at that comment. Subtle
At my comment or at Yazareth's
at
comment?
Yezereth's comment of his travels being kept secret.
I'll hold like the bowl of stew up and kind of like mid bite with my spoon in front of my mouth, cast message on the Dragonborn. His name I forgot to write down.
Does this bother you that these discussions are being had?
She looks over,
And I'll kind of like raise my eyebrows to kind of like be like, yeah, I'm talking to you.
and you hear, "Keep out of my mind."
Kind of like bow as she's looking at me and keep eating. Like Goku, just.
She's lucky she didn't say that to June.
You hear, where the fuck? Lizarna speak to Belky. "That's a very beautiful dress you have. Where did you get it?" And she goes, "Well, you see, this was imported from a land just up and coming. Small area, very far west of here. Oh, I don't think I'll ever travel that far." And they have a conversation about
ears.
her clothes.
Did you say a land far west of here? No.
I just
Sorry.
Wait.
acted like in my head I was Pete Holmes.
Forgive the intrusion. We all share a table, so I forgive my dropping of eaves.
When you said far west, you meant west as in the sea, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Hold on, because you mother effer.
It's the
Give me a second.
only.
It's the only.
Oh, God.
maps.
Only fucking thing in maps. That's not the map I'm trying to bring up.
You find it in Discord and maps, cause it's the only fucking photo maps.
But it's about to be the first thing in maps because he's gonna put a second thing in maps as something different.
Did you feel good about going through that one?
It's the reprise. Nick's been committing to his bits
Commitment.
tonight.
I was gonna say I
Ah.
appreciate the commitment.
Yeah.
Oh,
Gotta go.
no.
Yeah.
Sometimes half of the humor of something is just the raw commitment
All
to
right.
it. It's like I don't care
I
if this
agree.
sucks.
Had to make
Well
sure.
done.
So,
Well done.
you, and she goes, "It's quite all right. It is normal for someone to be curious. Yes, from a up-and-coming city named Illyria. There's a well-to-do enchanter who also dabbles in silk weaving.
To try to make her travels seem like less of like, I've been to a mysterious island, just like with a little bit of stew dripping on my mouth.
I've been there too. Threnwell, right?
Well, no, you haven't been there.
No, I have. It's beautiful. I'm excited to see it when it's finished. Like right on the coast, right by the water, right by the water. The two islands.
She just kind of turns up and
Did she
daintily eats her food.
give off like she's trying to impress everybody vibe?
If that's the vibe you want to take from it.
She's dating the brat at the high school.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alar just pipes in. I'm from the north.
Oh my god.
Hey, like, you're home.
really far.
Carlisle.
Someone said earlier.
Carlisle.
In chat,
Carlisle
that's a
says.
drink.
Carlisle says. That does not help us. You did not help us.
I helped fetch the wood. It wasn't like what we would normally do, but it was just already there. But
True. That is true.
DM, does this what do you say, bulky? Remind me of any nobility that I'd be familiar with in Uthran.
Make a history check.
I can do that. Let's go big die.
Good dunk.
That's a good one. History, let's say 22.
Nice.
Nice.
Nice. Oh man, I just wrote. Man,
Nice.
you guys today with the fucking knowledge, I gotta
Started.
keep pulling out of my
Hey, we
ding
smart.
dong.
Yeah,
We
start
smart.
dumping that lore, baby.
Gimme.
And we can
Name
get
of
more
the session
character
is
arc going
lore
too,
dump.
since Fern decided to add 19 NPCs to this room, all with colorful backgrounds from all over Falbian.
Very colorful names.
You would
too.
know that there is one of the heads of Uthran, the head of the merchant guild, who is a tiefling of the same color, Atticus Bell. But you have no relation if they are connected.
But they are.
Do any of these people remind Alar of Furbolgs in the north?
No.
What did you say the name was for that again, for the merchant?
Atticus Bell. He is
Atticus Bell.
the head of the Merchants Guild in Uthran.
Okay.
Should I just open every page I have ever created? Just be
Probably.
like, what's
Yeah,
Yeah.
why,
Just,
why don't you just
Probably
make a new
that would be
channel in
best.
Discord?
While we're
be
here,
best.
Chester, the king, that dude that we
Yep.
killed in the warehouse.
It's like the end of Scrubs. Just anybody who's ever been in this show.
Yep.
Done
Just throw them in.
There you go. All right. So. The Dragonborn walks across the room and puts a bowl in the pantry area. And then walks and sits down by the fire. Not in a chair, like
After I clean
crisscross
my
applesauce.
bowl, I'll I'll put excuse me, I'll put the bowl like kind of where they did, and I will go back to sit by them.
Okay. As you all
By
back
who?
at the table.
I wrap my tail around my waist just to have a little
Okay.
more space.
No problem.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
I just wanted to look for any sort of signet ring or any sort of family crest or any sort of marking that I'd be familiar with of the Merchant Guild.
Sure, make a perception check.
Ooh.
Gotta go big die gang because it didn't fuck me last time. Not too bad. Perception, you said?
Mm-hmm.
12.
12. As you check her out, you are unable, get some Zeo winks in the chat, unable to
Watch how many you put in
perceive
there, though.
any signet rings or any markings or such.
Okay. Unless you wanted to do something, June. Okay. I'll lean over to her and say, excuse me, miss. You wouldn't happen to have any relation to Atticus Bell, would you?
And who would you be asking?
You?
No, you simpleton. Who would you be that is asking?
Oh, okay. Not used to people wording their sentences like that. I am Lord Ziovuna.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
And no, I do not know of this Atticus Bell.
Ah. My mistake.
And she kind of, as you say that, she goes, "It's quite all right." And she gives you a wink.
Well, where do you hail from, if you don't mind me asking?
In fact, I do. She goes back.
That's fine.
Dainty sips of her stew.
Yeah, I'll get up and walk away.
I was gonna say, like, fucking peace. All right.
As I'm sitting next to the fire, next to the blue dragonborn, I'll kind of like lean over in a quieter tone.
I did not mean to offend you by prying into your mind. I was trying to be polite by being discreet.
You are all right.
You also, you must forgive me.
And I'll like kind of bow and break my eyes, or break
my
gaze.
eyes.
Just, you must forgive me. This is a tradition in my house.
But there have been so many people that are coming and going that I may have misplaced your name. May I have it again?
It is Kildrith.
It's very. The name becomes you.
What do you mean?
Your name is becoming. It has beauty in a very
Yes. I'm sorry. Common is not my first language.
And I'll like, as Ecclesias just like,
Listen here now, motherfucker.
your head just like poke between us two.
Someone steal my catchphrase.
That's my catchphrase.
Roll initiative.
I thought it was a match made in heaven. I thought
Hey,
you
I
Look,
know. I was
Aylar-
like, Aylar, Ecclesias, you leave. Aylar needs to step in.
Do you
Yeah,
just like
Ayla-
start fighting
You
and
did your
wrestling,
wingman
and you
duty.
like get her in an arm lock, and you just get closer, and then all of a sudden you're like headbutting, but then you just start kissing.
You're like, common's not my first language.
Exactly,
Common's not my
exactly.
first language.
Yeah, it appears that we're all going to be here stuck because of the fell night. I was just curious as to where you are going. If it's not too much of a secret, or I can understand if you don't trust us. But I am a simple merchant.
We will be together for a few days. Give your questions some time.
That I will.
And my tail kind of slowly unwrap, and then just kind of like the dandelion ploof would just kind of like float and kind of rest on her shoulder until I realize it, and like,
Sorry.
and I'll kind of like scoot a little further away just to give Kildrith more privacy.
So, as you do whatever you would like to pass your time, whether it's play small games, chat up different people, like about an hour or so passes by, and you notice that Kildrith and Yazrith start talking to each other, and they're over in the corner, so you can't make out what they're saying, but their voices start to get elevated as you see, just like between the nostrils, Kildrith, you see a little bit of electricity as you kind of see Yazrith going for the rapier, as their conversation starts to get heated enough for everybody to start taking notice of it, as Yasorna goes over and she very quickly shouts, she's like, "Stop it!" as they both kind of look down and, you know, break their attention from each other, as what Yasorna is saying is not really easy to hear, as you see, you hear Kildrith say, "Then keep him out of my face and we will have no problems," as she walks back over, and then you hear Yazrith say, "I do not belong here with the likes of all of you. You always stay away from me." as he walks over to his respective bed.
You're more than welcome to step outside.
I just turn these lights red.
Yeah, I'll kind of like stand next to Alar, even though I look like super puny. And
Super puny.
But yeah, as Alar says that, I'll be like,
Fucking Kevin
Is
Hart
it-
in The Rock.
yeah, 100%.
That's so perfect.
Yeah, we got murdered.
Oh man.
Bring it.
What time of day is it? Do we know?
Probably about 10 o'clock at night.
10 o'clock at night. All right. In that case, then I would say that, and I would go to my bed and kind of just lie down. I would
As
bring out
Alar.
my book of memories as well and kind of read that.
As Alar like walks away from me, trying to be intimidating with him. And I'll go sit by the hearth, but I'm actually gonna keep an eye on the drow. I can't keep all these Y names straight.
Yeah, there's only one Y. Oh, there's two Y names.
Sorry,
Yazra
who
and
was-
Yasorna.
and Yara.
Who
Yaris,
exactly reached for
the
the
town.
weapon first?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, proverbial weapons. Electricity was coming out of one of their faces, and then the other one
Yeah.
reached for a weapon.
Who,
So
who is the angry one again?
Both of
was
them.
that
Both.
both? Well, I mean, the one that said I don't belong in here with
The drow.
the drow.
that was the drow.
Yazareth.
Yep.
Okay.
Fuck! I missed the opportunity to say that in Elvish. Shit! God
So,
damn it.
as Alar is kind of bunking for bed, things are going to get interesting for the rolls that are about to happen. We will start with Ecclesias. Please roll a perception check.
Well, Your Grace. I won't, Your Grace. My plus 3, it's a 7.
All right.
You've been watching too much Game of Thrones.
I broke my eyes, remember?
June, same thing.
Perception check.
Yep.
13.
Cthulhu.
Hey, -1, 19. So natural
Alright.
20.
Nice.
Oh shit.
Zio.
So, I was planning on spending this downtime after dinner to send Duo out to the different groups and kind of have him spy on them. Just kind of have him playfully running around the place and spending,
Sure. Make the
a bit of
perception check
time.
with Duo's stats, and you'd have advantage.
Use your cute fox.
Wait,
to spy
does he only have
for you.
advantage to smell things?
Advantage for perception checks that rely on sight or smell.
There you go. Perception with advantage then.
Alright.
Just can't wait till one gets annoyed and just stomps on Duo.
It's, 12.
Alrighty. So, over the course of the next 2 hours, Cthulhu, as you're all meandering around, maybe talking to each other, talking to some of the NPCs that are around, or sharpening your swords, relaxing, taking a nap, writing, whatever it may be. Cthulhu, what you see to notice is you see Tempest having a conversation with Yasorna, as Yasorna seems to be very disagreeable to whatever Tempest is saying. It's not heated, but you can tell that Tempest has that still kind of look, and Yasorna is very brash towards him. Cthulhu, or Alar, give me a check as well.
Yo, perception.
Yep.
And your Sorna's the
Owner.
owner, that's right.
Can I use my passive?
Yeah, use my
Sure, because you're sleeping. Go
My,
for it if you'd like to.
All right. Then yeah, I use my passive, which is 14.
Okay.
Dang.
Alar, as you're kind of rolling around trying to get, go to bed as the light from the fires are...
I didn't say I was going to bed. I said I was reading a book, but
Well,
I'll
in
say
bed, whichever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
As you
and
are
falling,
doing
my
your
eyes are
winding
kind
down.
of like.
Yeah. You would notice Lizarna as she makes a drink for everybody. Doesn't matter. The glasses are slightly different. Some people have tankards, some people have glasses. She hands them out to everybody. Does anybody in the party not accept for ease?
That's
don't.
the
If it-
that's
it's
the
from
tavern
Yosarna?
owner, right?
Yeah, I only need to know if someone doesn't accept the drink.
No.
I would accept it if it's from her.
Okay, does
I take
anyone
it.
not accept? Not. Thank you. All right, Cthulhu does not take it. She gives one to everybody else. And
Thank you.
You're welcome. That would be what you would notice, Ayla. June, through the night, you overhear a conversation between, which would be Carlisle and Belky that are sitting by the fire. You would overhear a conversation of them, and the part that interests you is you hear Carlisle say, "Yes, if they are not careful, I'm sure that bad things could possibly happen."
I'll like tune in on that.
About that point, when you tune in, they end up splitting ways or changing the conversation to something very, "How's the weather?" Nothing too of
Cold.
note afterwards.
How's
Seemed
weather?
as
Fucking
if-
killer.
Seems like as if that was kind of like the ending of the conversation.
Okay.
Zio, through duo, which you would see, is you would notice Kildrith, you would notice Yazrith, the male drow, as he isn't saying anything loud enough to hear, but you can tell him muttering something, as he is just eyeing down Kildrith the whole time. As Kildrith, you can still just see the little electricity and just hatred as she looks on to Yazrith. And Ecclesius, you would notice Carlisle speaking to Yasorna as he collects her tankard from her that she was drinking, and he goes around and collects everybody's tankard and then sets them all in the pantry area. And then he goes back to his bunk.
Actually, no, there'd be no reason for Ecclesius to even care about that. Never mind. Okay.
So,
He up everybody's.
yeah, collected everybody's. He started
And
with
he
Yasorna, then collected everybody else's.
Okay.
He
so
collected
then
Yasorna's, had a conversation, and then separated.
And then he put them away. Nobody else touched them after he put them away.
Correct.
Okay.
This may sound stupid.
What?
But I cast detect poison and disease.
On? It's
It's a 30-foot radius. Anything.
Where are you just walking in the center?
You see it in everybody's belly.
I was about to say.
What is it? Detect what?
Detect poison and disease. For the duration, you can sense the presence and location of poisonous creatures, disease within. You can also identify what kind of poison, creature, disease in each case.
Very well.
I didn't realize that was 30 feet.
As
Yeah,
you
so I'm
do
gonna
that,
walk around, just
you
kind of like
walk around the
lollygagging.
entire area, and you get no presence of any sort of poison or disease.
My God.
I know, that was sketched out by that, but okay.
Alrighty. So, let me just look something up. Is it? Nope.
Is this poison?
Who's allowed to drink?
If I get the chance, I'm gonna like sit by Carlisle wherever that little halfling's at.
Oh, well, I didn't even. Did anybody ask what the drink was? Was it like a wine or an ale or a water with sugar?
Nope, I took it.
I don't drink alcohol. I realize that.
Nope, now you do.
Oh, Ecclesius accidentally took a shot.
Oh,
I guess I'm gonna go make out with someone.
You can have the bottom bunk tonight, Ecclesia.
He's like, I run up to the bunk. My bunk. Bang. Ding.
Okay.
That's never had a drink in his life, and he's just hammered after one ale.
Slams one medieval 18-ounce beer.
It's actually Dragonborn mead.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
everybody
hang on.
con save.
Yep.
Didn't
Disadvantage.
I'm the only one over there, just like.
Alar's
Yeah,
like,
but that
fuck, you finally got me.
kill drip is just like,
Look at all these
Finally
milk
got me.
drinkers.
Okay. With your detect poison, there's a couple things that actually do come up. Sorry, I'm glad I reread that.
Yay.
Number 1, you would detect in so many names. Lazarna, you would notice that she has a disease. It is a disease that affects her lungs and is quite serious. To what exactly it is, you are unsure. And secondarily, you would notice in Tempest's bag, there is, you can't like see the shape of it, but you detect that there is a plant that is used very commonly for poison.
And you said, who had the lung disease?
The halfling.
Exactly. Halfling. I'm gonna go and walk up to her.
Hey, you have a disease?
No, I'm gonna be like,
What's up with your lungs?
Wait, who has the disease?
The halfling.
So not Yosarna.
I made it. This may sound incredibly out of context or rude. But are you okay?
Of course I'm okay.
I
Why
can
do you
see
ask?
your when you're walking around, your shortness of breath.
No, I'm quite all right. Thank you, though. It's very kind of a stranger to ask.
Would you like a little bit of help? I have magical abilities that can get rid of diseases.
I'm okay. I don't know why I need that. I'm very happy. Thank you.
Okay, well, if it gets bad, just let me know. I can help you anytime. Especially now, it's getting towards the end of the day, so I can recharge at night.
Thank you very much. Cthulhu.
Yeah.
So as you head back to your bed. Yes, Zio.
How large of an area do all of our beds take up?
Do you need like an exact footage?
Yeah. Is
What
it
are you trying to do?
larger than a 20-foot cube?
Yes.
Could I push the beds together to make it less than a 20-foot cube?
Ooh, one big bed.
Ecclesias is
Sure.
hammered. What?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Well, hold on. I'm gonna
Hey,
make
you
them.
guys.
For instance, I'm gonna make it 5. So 5, 10, 15. It would be just barely 20 feet. If you end to end, no room in the middles.
That's perfect. I want to cuddle everyone tonight.
I would say we're making one big bed.
Yeah.
As everyone watches you, as you go.
I wanted to do this now, so it wasn't like. making
I
it
would
like a
actually,
walk
I
over
would,
the floor.
I would help. I would
As
help
you're
Theo.
trying to push Alar out of the bed.
I would help him push the stuff together,
problem.
and then I would actually, if no one's sitting in the chair by the fire, that's where I'm gonna sit for the night.
For the
With my
whole
book.
night,
Yes.
With my
Because
bow.
you're gonna
here's-
suffer a level of exhaustion.
I'm gonna sleep during the day, which is still gonna be night.
Hey,
You're
What's
still
that?
gonna have exhaustion.
I know, but like, so here's my train of thought. Tell me if this is idiotic. So, stay through the night, reading my book, making sure no one's getting up doing crazy shit. Then, maybe I'll have a point of exhaustion, but then from like 8 a.m. when everyone wakes up to
16
4
a.m.
p.m., I'll sleep and get my long rest.
Makes sense. My only question is, Alar that distrusting of people that he's like, well, if you're gonna fucking murder me, I'm staying up.
people were arguing earlier, and yeah, it's the first night in an unfamiliar place. The Air Ganassi open up the door for themselves. It's fucking weird.
Very well.
It's fucking
Sounds good.
weird.
So I'm going to.
I literally told someone that they can go outside. I think.
Yes, Zio.
I'm gonna sit in the middle bed.
I thought you were about to say the middle of the room, and I'm like, are any of you just gonna sleep?
Yeah, I go to bed. I'm
Okay,
going to bed.
So, Zio, what are you doing?
I'm gonna sit in the middle bed. This one's mine now.
J-Charms.
I'm gonna have Duo come hop up in my lap, and I'm gonna dig through my bag for a minute, and I'm going to pull out. Where is it?
Between you.
It'll be faster this way. The tiny brass bell that I got from Crazy Dude. in
What's
the
his
middle
name?
of
You
the
can't
forest.
use the spell.
That's not fair.
That's not fair.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Like,
Obviously, I'm
guy.
kidding, y'all. Jeez.
Wow, DM.
Fucking asshole DM.
And I'm going
No, I
to
wish I remembered his name.
whoever's sitting next to me in their beds. I'm gonna just look over to them. I'm gonna try something.
I would have sat next to you, kind of keeping an eye out, and I'm staring at Alar. Like, what the fuck you doing?
Maybe you could
I'm just like propped up.
help guide me in this then, June. But I'm just gonna had some thought about this. I'm going to tap the tiny brass bell, trying not to make it too loud or anything like that, just to give a little ding. It is a tiny bell, so and I'm going to attempt to cast alarm. And
Nice.
I will designate all of my party members to be able to walk in and out.
Other than Ayla.
I don't think he has to be inside.
But wouldn't
let me
it
just
be
read alarm
constantly
real quick.
going off since he's outside of it?
I'm just
No.
gonna read alarm and I'll tell you. Give me a second.
No, because what
When you
it...
cast
Well, you
spell,
can
you
I'm just
designate
gonna,
who
I'm just
goes
gonna
through.
read alarm and then I'll tell you in a second.
Okay.
Read it out loud. Read it out loud.
I feel like I'm at a birthday party and they tell you to read your
I'm
birthday
so
cards
tempted.
out loud.
Now, when that's 20-foot cube, is that a 10-foot diameter?
Yeah.
10-foot radius. Okay.
Yeah, 10-foot radius.
Alerts you whenever a tiny or large creature touches or enters the warden area. When you cast a spell, you can designate creatures that won't set off the alarm. You can also choose whether the alarm is mental or audible. Is it mental or audible?
mental.
Okay. The mental alarm alerts you and you ping in your mind within 1 mile of the warded area. The ping awakens you if you are sleeping. Audible. All right. Yeah, you can do that. Totally.
Okay. Do you want me to roll a percentile? Because I've never done this before. This is
I'm not gonna make you do that for every spell.
cool.
Sounds good.
Just
Yeah,
the cool
so-
ones.
So
I
as you
will
see him, as you kind of sit in the middle and you get your area that you want to go in, as you then get up, as you kind of ring the bell and you take the silver thread, as you kind
Ring the
of
bell.
run it around all of your beds in a 20-foot area, as you come back into the center, as you all see a slight shimmer that fades. As the bell, the outside seems to, the actual bell part, the clacker stays solid as the outside of it kind of rotates around the clacker of it. You hear a slight scraping as it fades as the spell casting ends.
Did you do it?
I think I did.
Telepathically to Zio, what did you do? I'll give you the ability to respond.
Well, I'll hold up the bell as I'm like speaking to you telepathically. This should ding in my head if anybody but us comes near us or our stuff. At least in this vicinity is all kind of show with my hands where I drew the line.
And then out loud, that's brilliant.
Thank you.
And then I'll take Uridin, who's been really abnormally quiet, and he's like holding a spork, and I assume that he just looks like so scared and sad, and I like no, I'll like link arms with him, and
Okay.
we'll just kind of just big slumber party.
Alrighty. So, as you all rest for the night, minus Alar. So
I would tell the innkeeper, I have no better word for her, that
like
I
her
will be-
name?
Yosorna.
Yeah,
Yosorna.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yosarna.
Those who need
I have no
so
name
close.
for her.
those who need names.
Yo-yo.
That I will be staying up to make sure that the
I'm going to stay up and make sure that the fire stays warm.
Yeah. And she goes over and she sleeps in her bed. So, through the night, Zio, your alarm does not trip.
Cool.
Alar, as everybody else sleeps peacefully. Alar.
Yep.
About middle of the night, as you're reading, you're getting comfortable, still aware, but getting comfortable with your surroundings. You stoke the fire, you make sure it's going, make sure the building is staying warm in this bitter, bitter cold. As you hear a large wind start to manifest outside, as you look over and you see Tempest laying in his bed. As this breeze wipes out the fire cold, as your eyes adjust from light to instant darkness. You have dark vision, right?
No.
So you're blind. Never mind.
Yeah.
I was gonna say there's an adjustment period. As you hear some scuffling going on behind you, as you hear a grunt, you hear something like an object hit the floor, and then you hear a thud. As you quickly go over, because your only source of light would be to relight this fire, as you relight this fire very quickly, as the fire ignites again, as you put more wood in, and you look around the room, you see nobody around. Everybody in their bed. And with the best of your investigation, nobody's bed seems to have been disturbed. As you look again, and you notice Yosorna not in her bunk, as you look on the other side of the table, and in the middle of the room, with a cup next to her, and blood pooling out from somewhere underneath her body, you see Yosorna, deceased.
Are you
It's a
putting us on a
fucking
murder
murder
mystery?
mystery.
Yeah.
And that's where we're going to end the session for the week.
No! It's a fucking murder mystery. God damn it.
I would be able to solve
I'm
All of
about
you
to get
guys-
voted off this fucking spaceship.
Everybody better
Because
have
I'm the only
written
one who
down
saw the murder.
the thing that Fern said that you noticed. You better have written that down. Carlisle grabbed all cups. Boom. Done.
The fucking bitch over there has poison.
So I
Is that right, baby?
I don't
No,
know
she's
if
dead.
I feel like I would have
It's a
done this
murder
before
mystery.
the fire went out, but I can cast detect magic.
Ah,
So
you can
In 2
definitely
weeks
do,
you
you can
can.
definly do that
Yeah,
afterwards
it-
in
not
2
next
weeks.
weekend.
okay, all
Next
right,
weekend.
I'll write a note that
There you go. Well,
yeah.
after the fact,
In
you
2
notice the
weeks
body's
ago.
dead. We're picking up right where you notice the body's dead. So
Yeah.
I do want to say, Shay, thank you for another 100 biddies. I hate that word, but I will say biddies.
Bid-
Shay,
Biddies.
thank you for them sweet
You're an
biddies.
amazing person.
Sweet, sweet
Curlson,
biddies.
I'm glad you're here and having a great game, or a great day, and I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Dave, thank you. I'm glad you thought it was fantastic. I'm sure that there was a lot of things that were funny that happened in chat, but because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 NPCs to keep track of, I missed probably a lot of it.
You did that to yourself.
You set this murder mystery up.
I
You
did.
set it
Okay,
up.
I
I
did.
saw the murder mystery from
I
a
can't-
fucking mile away.
By the way,
Oh,
by the way,
100%.
And I was like, we're gonna fucking
Well,
have
yeah,
to be
of
like,
course. Why would I be like,
Oh,
you
fucking
notice him
duh.
grab cups?
side note,
See,
side
that's
note.
the reason. As soon as like the drink came out, I was like, somebody's getting poisoned.
You know who I thought was gonna walk in and they didn't? I thought the people that we told to leave at that house. I was like, these
Oh.
motherfuckers are gonna walk in and it's just gonna be a fucking stalemate in here. Oh, we're like,
I
oh,
think
hi,
we scared
how
the shit
staying
out of them
warm?
a little bit.
Yeah, but like they wouldn't have known that we were there, so just coincidental.
That's true. That's true.
Dun, dun,
Well,
dun.
unfortunately,
I feel like I'm in an
next
episode
week
of
we will
Clue.
not be continuing this story because we'll be missing a member of our party. So we will be picking this story up 2 weeks from today, which would be on May 14th, which will also be Zio's birthday.
Hey.
Jay's
Oh,
birthday.
shit.
Oh,
shit.
that's right.
Oh,
You're
Jay's
remember.
birthday. Okay.
Fuck
we
Jay.
have differences
Oh,
now.
oh.
Differences now.
So-
Player
Yeah, my
birthday. Player birthday.
I'm glad
Character
you're
birthday.
excited. Yep, character and birthday. But if you would
We're gonna
like,
kill your
because
character on
I
that day.
think it will be very fun to discuss, there will be a episode. There'll be the last episode of Exploring the Archives until we come back to on May 14th for the wrap up or conclusion or continuation of this story. Thank you, Dave, for the 200 bits. You've been killing it today. Thank you. I won't give you any more shit ever again. But this Wednesday, make sure you are here and go to our Discord so you can vote for who you would like to see in Exploring the Archives so we can discuss this haberdashery and what is going on here.
A lot happened.
Bribe us and we will like you. That's true. I'm glad to be a part of this. Looking forward to next session. Hope you all have a good
keep
rest of your
messing with it. I
nights.
can't
You
stop.
too. Thank you for the Korg and the streamers. Yeah, you would have joined a long time ago. That's all it took. That's all it took. But thank you for everybody that hung out today. We will have a one-shot DM'd by the Ecclesia Zion Amarius, which will be fun. Maybe, I don't know. We
Maybe.
might see Carrie Trues again.
I was
don't
gonna say
know.
last
But
time there was a Carrie Trues.
I'm just gonna say I prefer Sven, but you know.
And on the same lines of the one shot, make sure if you're not already on the Instagram, I'm probably gonna be dropping a little bit of hints towards
Little bit of hands.
little bit of
hands. Oh, how nice of you.
Hints.
Nick,
Just
how many
dropping a
drinks
little
have
bit
you
I feel
had
like you all just turned into Southern Belles. You all just
Southern
turned into Southern
What you
Belles.
really want is
I
a
can't
rich,
take it.
like molasses falling out your mouth.
But yeah, if you're not already followed, you'll check out some hints. And next Friday, we're gonna get into a bunch of shenanigans that we'll probably all
Thank
want to
you,
forget
Bournemouth.
about.
Thank you, Bournemouth. Thank you for that follow too. But
Oh, hey.
you're all beautiful people. This was such
Yeah,
an
thanks for
amazing
showing
sub.
up, man.
I literally
Yeah.
can't even thank everybody because of how much shit happened. So thank you collectively between Jay
Cheers.
and Lutz and Dave and
I love the war.
and
That's all
Shay
Dave.
and Potatoes, everybody that gifted subs or bits or everything. We lift our drinks to you. I have nail polish remover.
Drink it.
Don't drink that. No.
Do it, pussy. You won't.
We lift our drinks to you. You're all amazing people, and maybe by the continuation of the story, we will have a new emote for all of you to use.
Ooh.
But on that note, take care, everybody. We will see you Wednesday for the Arcane Archives, Exploring the Archives, episode 6, I believe. Take care, everybody. Much love. We will see you on Wednesday. Take care. Bye-bye.